Welcome, everybody, to episode number 13 of the Dragon's Den podcast. We are live finally here tonight. Sorry for the delay. But yeah, I actually had a couple technical difficulties before we started the show as well. We were literally on the air and my screen froze. So I don't know if you guys saw me leave the room. But yeah, it was something. How's everybody doing?
Hold on, real quick. I want to applaud you on that intro, big dog. On some real shit.
I was hoping you guys would like that. That was the first time they saw that.
And it would do it for why?
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, we'll hopefully keep that then.
Okay. Before we start talking about any fucking thing, okay, I got something I want to say.
Yeah.
Aaron and his wife.
Oh gosh.
Why you gotta put this man's business out in the street?
Because I was in the car and had to listen to that shit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so you gonna play dumb? That's what we're gonna do.
This is reserved for our subscriber only Dragon's Den After Dark,
which we don't have right now. But yeah,
bruh.
Foreshadowing.
Maybe one
His
day.
life is wild. His late night life, like all that shit you see about Aaron while we at work, you know what I'm saying? And you talk to him like on the weekends and we hang out and shit. His nightlife vastly different, big dog.
Oh my gosh.
Well, clearly,
vastly different, big dog.
He is dressed to get it, son. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, he take that conquering shit real serious.
Don't do that when I'm taking a drink.
Wait, what'd you just say?
I was taking
When
a
he
drink when you did that.
pillages, when Aaron
Oh.
pillages, that shit is serious, bit up.
Man.
So you don't know what I'm talking about, Aaron? You, like the
I
conversation
am
we
gonna
had on
be
the way to work?
honest. I don't remember the last 8 hours, so
Okay, all right. All I'm saying is it's a capital F and freak. All right, Aaron is in
Well, this show has definitely started off on something fun.
I don't even know.
Bro, it's wild, bro. You don't know?
I don't.
All right,
I honestly,
okay,
I'm being
gonna put,
honest. I do not remember what I said.
you participated in the conversation. You don't know what you said?
I don't know what I said. I don't even remember the conversation.
All right, bit up. All right.
All I really remember
All right,
is
I ain't gonna do
the face you turned and you looked at me because I said something, but I don't remember what I said.
Hey, so have any of you seen the movie Next Friday?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay, you remember the scene where Pops and the uncle were talking, and he says, "Don't nobody got me pussy whipped. I whips pussy." And he does this shit. That's what Aaron does on a daily basis. That is basically what he said in the car. Aaron said, "My stroke game is serious," and his wife went, "Yes."
Man. Yeah, Big Papa Pump up there.
Yeah, he Big Papa pumping, all right. He a freak, bro.
Oh man.
Thanks for the compliment, I guess.
Yeah. You know, Freakzilla.
Is that a compliment?
I don't know, Aaron. Now I'm getting.
I hope.
Yeah.
Look, now I'm getting text messages asking why.
Why?
Why don't I do that?
Well, I think Brandon, that might have something to do with you, because
oh, okay.
Don't
so you trying to say my stroke game ain't strong?
Go.
You saying my stroke game ain't strong?
I'm just saying, if you don't get your lady where she needs to go, she ain't gonna give you
Oh, so you saying I'm slipping?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right. That's wild, bro. That's wild, bro. And Brandon, how you gonna laugh? How you not defending me in this situation?
Because it's true.
Because you don't let you stick your foot in your mouth all the time, and it's just fun.
So, hold on, man. You saying my stroke game weak? Brandon, you just gonna sip tea like it's not happening?
Anything like that? Nope.
You saying my stroke game trash, Brandon?
she is pleading the fifth.
So you just gonna chuckle?
Not what I'm saying, Brandon. I'm saying stop whining about shit.
All right.
I'm just sitting here hoping that Aaron's math is better than Scott Steiner's.
Find you a new carpool partner.
Well, I think I'm pretty decent at math, but I really need some context with this, though.
33 and a third.
I guess Ty's checking out. He said he's too innocent for this conversation.
Wow. What?
Bro,
this is
hold on. Ty, you ain't innocent, bro. I heard about your little escapades, bro. Let's keep it a stack, bro.
I mean, we did start late, so it's after dark hours now. So
I know. Ty, I know information.
No,
on the
listen.
shoulders.
Brandon had margarita before we got here.
Oh boy,
Brandon had 2 margaritas before we got here.
This could be a great show. Then. That's the way I look at it.
What was it?
Yo,
Scott Steiner?
That's the one thing I will say.
You Googling Scott Steiner right now?
Yeah.
The place we went to.
Yeah.
The place we went to.
Picture
Eric,
Okay. Yep.
Eric, you was there that night. When we first went there after we moved here, that little Mexican spot down the street. The margaritas there, they don't skip on the tequila. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's like a half a bottle for if you get a small one or a large one. It don't matter. They just pour a half a bottle of tequila in that bitch.
Yep.
His has a part in the middle, though.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
what?
I mean, I don't know if
time,
I'm not so sure Aaron's physique is the same, but
Hey man, you don't know what Aaron packing under that shirt,
What
big dog.
talking? See, I got muscles. See,
yeah. Somewhere.
Aaron, all I need you to do is grow a goatee.
I can take him.
Grow a goatee and start wearing shades.
Yeah, Ty's like, you're channeling your D&D character way too hard right now.
That's wild, bro.
Just wait till tomorrow. I'm coming in with a new armor piece.
Okay, all right.
And of course, Mike's got to, dig on me. So you want to see some scary stroke and put Kaylee Cuoco on TV in front of Eric, then dive out the way. Hey, I had a big crush on her on Big Bang Theory. I'm sorry.
So is that how you hurt your foot?
No,
I told you, bro. You gotta stop doing that shit with your feet, man.
I ain't that flexible.
You gotta stop doing that shit with your feet, Ed. For real, for real.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Told you, keep moving your shoulders.
I've heard stories.
It's all on the shoulder.
Hold on. Speaking of which, this motherfucker had the best clapback ever. I told him about my wrist. As you, wait, hold on, where's it at? You can see your boy bandaged up, right? This motherfucker goes, "Hey, you should have used more shoulder."
Yeah. I mean, I'm the expert on it. I mean,
I said, "Hey, you got it. You got it. You got it."
Yeah, I got it. Or maybe, just maybe, he could have Haktua.
Bro. Miranda,
I didn't know what that was till today. I
unfortunately
found it today. No,
there's only one I want. I love you, Pookie, forever.
How do you get over a breakup?
The only way to get over one is get under another. Make the cobwebs off this thing.
This don't miss. What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that huck to it. Spit on that thing. You get me?
And that's
Haktua.
Miranda, listen, baby, I love you. But I'm gonna need you to hug to her.
Shut up, Brandon.
That's messed up. But then again, it's already apparently the merch is already going. So, So yeah.
I need one of these hats too, big dog.
This thing became a thing. Like it went viral this week. I don't know exactly
overnight, bro.
Overnight, yeah. She
became a bunch of people's spirit animals overnight.
Guys like
hot too.
That's very
Miranda. No idea who she was until today.
And it was like I spent most of my day on X, and it was like me and two other girls that I follow all the time found out are roughly around the same time. I'm just not the same.
So, like, legit, I saw the memes before I saw the video. So I had no idea what they was talking about. I seen the one where it was talking about the newest member of the Dolphins is Tua's sister, Hawk Tua. So for like half a second, I'm like, wait, Tua got a sister named Hawk Tua? So then I just Googled it and I seen the actual video.
Wait.
Dog.
You had to Google before you understood that's not a thing.
Because I didn't know where it was coming from. All I just know the meme was literally Tua's sister joins the Dolphins. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? And then it said her name was Hawk Tua. I'm like, what the fuck?
AJ Hawk's sister.
So I had no frame of no, it was Tua's sister.
I know.
The quarterback for the but like I had no idea like the reference. You know what I'm saying? Like I just knew it was a chick and it's Hawk Tua. I'm like, is that her fucking name? And so I just Googled Hawk 2 and that video popped up and I said, ain't no way, big dog. But
Mike, it's because the world's going to hell. That's why. So yeah.
First of all, you calling Miranda classy in the bedroom is
hey.
No.
I don't think that's what he was talking about, Brandon.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. She is the definition of a lady in the streets, but you know the rest of the song.
In the sheets?
Man.
I will.
I'm gonna disappear for a second, but I guarantee you'll see me.
Oh no!
Why are you coming in here?
What's
wrong?
A boost. I will be right back, guys.
Love it, man. If she ever gets her studio in the basement, she ain't gonna be able to do that as easily. It might take a little.
I know it's a wrap, son. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of basement, it flooded today.
Oh no!
God.
Bro, the day she had was crazy.
How did it flood on a sunny day?
So what happened was the drain that's in the basement is right by the fucking door, right? Where all the water in the house drains out of, okay? And she went down there to go look for something. And she went to open the door. She noticed like right outside the basement, you know how our dirt is and our yard is, right? It's mainly fucking sand. So she seen like this big mud pile. She just assumed that all the rainwater washed that down. You know what I'm saying? But she goes to open the door and it's just water right there. Like water. Now I told you, you know the situation with the whole furnace and all that shit, like all that. And she thought the basement flooded altogether. So she was already like on the verge of cracking. This would have just broke her. Well, luckily it was the drain was just clogged from the washout from the outside shit coming in. So it was just clogged. So she moved it, it started draining. That's all good. But when she initially opened the door, she just assumed that the whole basement was flooded. And we just spent X amount of money on the furnace and all the other shit. So she was like stressed, you know what I'm saying? And luckily that's not the case. Like I said, it was just clogged. She got it worked out well, but she was about to fucking lose it, bro.
Usually the way it goes though, one thing goes wrong or they got to spend money on one thing, then everything else breaks too.
Oh,
it's like,
for sure. And it's the worst. Like actively there are days where I go, I wish I could be a kid again because none of this shit mattered. I feel like I was so to lie when I was a kid talking about I just can't wait to be an adult shit. And then like when adults was like, you shouldn't say that shit. Like you should just be a kid as long as you can be a kid. And now that I'm an adult, like, I wish I was a kid for sure.
yeah. This getting old and
this
adult
adult
stuff
shit is crazy.
Overrated, no doubt about
Severely.
it. Especially paying for stuff. I mean,
all that freedom I thought I would get as a kid, talking about, well, once I get old enough, you can't tell me this. I'm gonna get to do whatever I want to do. I lied. I want to go back to being a kid, bro. That freedom ain't free. I promise you.
I mean, I don't mind the freedom aspect of it. It's just the stuff you got to do to keep.
But let's be honest, as an adult,
table, all that stuff.
As an adult, the freedom you get is limited because you got adult shit you got to do. You got bills and shit, so you got to do all this, that, and the third before you can actually enjoy your time, and that's crazy to me.
Yeah, spending 40, 50 hours or more at work a week, sleeping most of the rest of the time you're off, so you don't maybe get 3 or 4 hours a night, maybe if you're lucky.
Yep.
If you got kids and stuff too, they take all that time. It's like, man.
Hold on. I want to say this shit.
Gotta feed them.
I want to give mad credit to my kids in that aspect, right? My kids, I say my kids, our kids, they learn to roll with the punches. You know what I'm saying? They on board for a lot of the crazy shit that we got to go through, the shit that we got to do. There's no complaints from my kids because they like, okay, that's cool. And then we move forward with the situation. So in that aspect of my life, I will say I want to give a big ups to my kids or our kids in that situation because like a lot of and I know there's a lot of parents that go like, I put my mom through hell. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real. Like I put my mom through hell. Like me and my sister both. You know what I'm saying? We ran my mom through the ringer. But it also doing that also taught me valuable lessons with my mother, to which I try to instill on our kids. And I will say my kids roll with the punches on a daily basis, and they come out like it's all good. It is what it is. I mean, you interact with my kids enough. You know how I go here.
Yeah.
So we don't face the hardships with kids that not all, but some parents go through with theirs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
which is a sign of good parenting, in my opinion.
Yeah, like when we tell our kids no, it's for a reason. They don't ask questions; they just know it's no. Okay, put it, whatever. We move on. You know what I'm saying? And in the beginning, I mean, because they're kids, so it's kind of hard in some aspects for them to like fully latch on to why you telling them no. But as long as we tell our kids no, followed up with like, look, I'm not telling you no because I'm trying to be an asshole.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah. See, happy birthday,
girl. Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. But they know enough, especially our oldest, like Jaden. He knows and he cool. He like, all right, cool. But Jaden also, since he's the oldest, he also sets the tone for the other two to be like, all right, well, if he's cool with it, then it's no big deal. We move past it. We move on. So in that aspect, I want to give a shout out to my kids in that, like on some real shit. And
I told Jaden today, I said, look, buddy, I may snap at some point in the next very near future. I love you.
You can,
all right,
he
whatever.
sees
I
it
can get my
all.
worst,
It's
we're
his
good,
life.
you know?
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, Jaden. No,
life
see,
has
that's the
been
thing.
dealing.
Jaden has been in the ups and downs. Like you got to remember, Jaden was born and was old enough at a time where I hit my lowest in my life, and my man was there to ride through it all. And once we got through that, you know what I'm saying? He's been like, yeah, you know, on board. So Jackson and Anaya just followed suit with him. And they look to him because that's their older brother. So if he's not freaking out about it, they ain't gonna freak out about it. You get what I'm saying?
Setting that example.
And he's always there to reassure them, like, yeah, look, once we get through this, it's over with. Don't worry about it no more. And so a huge shout out to Jaden in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like, he may be the typical big brother who comes out just to stir shit with his siblings. But
You got to. It goes with the territory.
Yeah.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, Jaden has always got his siblings back, and he's there to reassure them, like, whatever we going through right now, it's a short-term thing. Don't worry about it, type shit. And the other two, even in, you know, with Anaya being the youngest out of the three, she is still like, okay, for real though. But she gets it. She understands.
She's punching up at two boys too, you know. So she's
Bruh.
And she
Yo,
keeps us on our
Eric,
toes.
And that's the thing, Eric, you've seen these kids grow, like legitimately. You've seen these kids grow.
Yeah,
so you've
been around
there.
for a minute. Yeah.
And you see how they interact with each other. So there's a side tangent on some dad shit. All right. Let me have my moment real quick. So it was Father's Day, right? And we went to the pool, we went swimming. And you know how Jaden is. Jaden's a typical teenager. You know what I'm saying? He's in his room most of the time. He associates when he comes out. That's only to eat, take a shower, and go to the bathroom. That's the only times you see that motherfucker. 3 times, if you're lucky. He's in the pool with his brother and sister, and me and Miranda is sitting up on the thing watching them, right? Jaden is, they're all playing together. Like, playing together. Don't get me wrong, they're all doing shit to annoy each other because otherwise it wouldn't be a sibling thing. But we sat there for like 5 minutes and just watched them play together, laughing, having a great time. Jaden being Jaden, Jackson being Jackson, and Anaya being Miss Bossy Pants Anaya. But they all interacted with each other and had a fucking blast. The one thing Jaden did that drove Jackson crazy, Jackson figured out that he could go down the slide in the deep end, but it's deep enough that he could use the slide, but shallow enough for him to stand up, so he's not going to drown. Once he realized that, my man was on that all day, right? But there's a bunch of kids there, so every time you come out of the slide, there's guaranteed to be a kid right at the bottom of that slide. So we kept trying to move the kids out of the way so they didn't get kicked in the head by another kid coming down the slide. So Jackson comes screaming out of the slide, hits the water, pops up. Jaden goes, grabs him, and goes, "We gotta move!" And he keeps
Man,
dude, by
he's
the
ready though.
By the 6th or 7th time, he grabs Jackson and goes, "We gotta move." Jackson goes, "For God's sakes!"
Oh my
It was
god,
hilarious.
that's
He was
awesome.
over it.
You get that from
And
like
then-
Call of Duty? Like we got.
I have no idea.
That's what I was.
And then Anaya, she jumps in, pops back up. Jaden grabs her, goes, "I'm trying to save you." She goes, "Let me go." He goes, "I'm saving your life." And he,
Oh my god.
they were so annoyed with him, but they were so happy to engage and play with their older brother. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But
Oh,
then
yes.
they got Jaden's ass back because Jaden was like, "All right, I'm just gonna float around for a little bit." But Jaden, just like when he's walking around, does not pay attention to his surroundings. You've seen the kid. The kid literally will walk straight, no matter if there's an obstacle in front of him. He's going straight, and it's fuck all you can do about it. So he's floating in the water, and I say to Jackson and Anaya, I say, "Hey, y'all two are on iceberg duty. Watch the ship, make sure it doesn't hit nothing." Anaya, by the time I say hit nothing, Anaya reaches out, grabs Jaden by his hair, and starts pulling him back. And Jaden goes, "Ow, ow, ow!" She goes, "I'm saving you."
But you're not though.
But it was that whole thing that like it was like one of those things that so like I said, it's Father's Day. And it as a father, it was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done my part. I get it. Jaden acts like an older brother in the sense of like he wants nothing to do with his siblings. But at the same time, Jaden watches over his siblings and makes sure everything's good with them. And I'm like, I did my job. You know what I'm saying? Like I did what I was supposed to do. So it was one of those heartwarming moments because we don't get many of those shits. You know what I'm saying?
Like it almost makes it worth it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fucking hilarious. It was a great fucking time. And like I said, I want to give a big up to my kids on that shit for real.
Nice saying hi.
Hi.
What's up now, baby?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I want to give a big up to my kids on that shit for real.
Big ups to all the good kids out there who listen to their mom and dad.
For sure.
For sure. Actually, a little older than maybe they would be in age. Like I look at Jaden, I'm thinking, okay, he's not real old, but at the same time, he acts more mature in my opinion than maybe his age would indicate. But yeah.
And that's because Jaden was raised. It sucks in a sense, but it doesn't. Jaden was always around older people because the friends we had, they had kids too around the same time. So Jaden grew up around a bunch of kids. He interacted with these kids, but the majority of the time, he hung out with me, Miranda, and all our friends who are all adults. So Jaden, at an early age, developed conversations with adults. So Jaden matured a lot earlier than most kids would. But Jaden was also still able to be a kid. That's one thing me and Miranda never took away from him. Let him be a kid. You know what I'm saying? Hell, even Jackson. Jackson is still a kid, but you could have a real conversation with Jackson if you sat down and talked to him.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Anaya, that's Anaya. It is what it is with that one. That's a 50-50.
Hey, gotta get what you can take, right? All right,
but
so go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
I was just gonna move on. If you had something, so go ahead. I was just going.
Now you gangster,
okay.
Brother.
Not bad. I was just moving things along, being the moderator here a little bit. All right, we had a few new. I know Mike was, waiting on the show earlier. He's like, "Well, I hope you guys do wrestling first because I got to go to bed with the kids sometimes." So we're gonna move wrestling to the beginning of the show here. So let's check it out real quick. All right, so
that graphic dope.
What's that? Oh yeah,
that graphic is dope.
Doing my thing over here. But last year, the unfortunate news came, obviously, that Wyndham Rotunda had passed away. Bray Wyatt, as he was known as in WWE. This week, and they've actually been leading up to it for the last few weeks and months here, but WWE finally gave us the Wyatt 6. They finally debuted on Monday Night Raw this week. Uncle Howdy, played by Bray Wyatt's brother, Bo Dallas. Or is it Taylor Rotunda? I think is his real name.
It's Taylor. Yeah, his real name is Taylor Rotunda.
Okay. So he's playing Uncle Howdy. And, of course, they laid out a bunch of guys in the back in the gorilla position, Chad Gable being one of them here as shown in the picture here. And they officially debuted the entire group here, which, again, it's got this very horror movie type vibe. What is it? You got Huskus the pig. You got the buzzard, you got Rambling Rabbit.
Okay. So it's Husker the pig, Abby the witch, Mercy the vulture, and Rambling Rabbit, and then Uncle Howdy.
Okay, and of course these are being played by Joe Gacy from NXT.
Joe
Eric
Gacy.
Rowan.
Yeah, Joe Gacy is Husker the pig. Nikki Cross is Abby the witch. Dexter Loomis would be Mercy, the vulture, and Eric Rowan is Rambling Rabbit.
Nice. Yeah, so I mean, I just thought this was very well done. It was probably one of the best endings on Monday Night Raw that they've probably had in a while. I thought the show on altogether on Monday night was actually good top to bottom in general. I mean, between everything they were doing with Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan, and
Mm-hmm.
then of course Seth Rollins returned out of nowhere. Apparently, he's cleared to go. All sorts of stuff, with that stuff going on too. But this was the one that took the cake, in my opinion. It just the way it ended, the vibes they have, and of course we got the new logo for the Wyatt 6. It's also spelled SICK with the number 6 as well. So yeah, I mean, it was very well done. The show was just great top to bottom, so much so that even apparently Ty said it made him interested again. So, and he's been kind of up and down a little bit more down since WrestleMania than some. So that's great to see, and just to see that, and of course they're paying homage to Bray Wyatt's legacy, and that's the most important thing in my opinion. But I know Brenda was very excited about this on Tuesday after this happened. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Big dog. It was probably, so for me, it was one of those things. You remember when Vince blew himself up, right? Right before we found out about the whole Chris Benoit thing, right? Yeah. It was one of those situations where it was like, yo, this is crazy. Cinematically, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you saw him get into his car and then immediately the car blows up, right? When the lights went out, I just thought we'd get like they would come out to the ring, introduce themselves in the story type shit. For the longest time, I thought they were going to interrupt the main event. You know what I mean? The way this was done, and I told Miranda because she didn't see it because she had fell asleep. And so did I. I seen it the later on, and I showed her the video of it. And watching it a second time, it was legitimately like a horror movie. There's guys just laid out, and the way it was shot, the way it was produced, you know what I'm saying? Crazy. And it was one of those things that was like, yo, I am interested to see now where this goes. Because and I said this to Miranda, could you imagine what it would have been like if Bray was still there? So instead of it being Uncle Howdy that you saw standing there, it was the Fiend. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not taking anything away from Uncle Howdy or nothing, but it was just dope. It was dope on so many levels. So to see Uncle Howdy standing there at the end, and then in the first shot, you got Gable laid out, and then Uncle Howdy standing there like, with his arms spread, this, that, and the third, and he comes walking up. Miranda said it herself. She goes, it looks like Bray. And I went, yeah,
it does. Yeah.
And even though he's in character, when he comes out, if you pay attention, when he comes out and that crowd is losing their mind, you see the smile on Bo Dallas's face. And it was like, so it was both heartwarming and terrifying at the same fucking time.
Yeah. Well,
now I'm just like, where do we go from here?
Well, they got a bunch of factions they could feud with on Monday Night Raw. I mean, they've got the Final Testament. You've got the Judgment Day themselves. I want to say there was another one. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Hold on. Sorry, I just saw this. I know you watched SmackDown already, right?
No, but I mean, you can always say it.
Did you watch SmackDown already? All right. I'm not about to tell you.
Well, yeah.
There's a new member of the bloodline.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I just seen that on Twitter. What McAfee? Pat's show again today. What happened?
Yeah, you'll have to ask Brett on that one. I didn't see it.
I'm gonna clear that up. So, like a while ago, like years ago, they did this thing with a guy named Jack Carr. Jack Carr is a guy that was on the show the day when all that happened. They did this whole skit where Jack Carr saved their life from this AI thing that was going to take over the world. It's a nuclear bomb type shit. It was hilarious. They just redid that whole segment again with him with a drone. Jack Carr, I want to say I don't know if he's a Navy SEAL. I know he served in the military. I can't remember what branch it was. But that's what it was. It had nothing to do with the Wyatts, nothing like that. Because
so it's just a coincidence.
And they showed yes, it was just a coincidence. That's all it was. Wow. It was just a coincidence. It has nothing to do with the Wyatts, nothing like that. They just did it because Jack Carr was on the show, so they did this skit that involved him.
I thought
this, that, and the third.
I thought Pat was going to come back or come and wrestle, not just commentate.
Speaking of which would have been dope because I found out today through various text messages that the Royal Rumble is.
We're getting into that in just a second. But yeah, before we do that though, Mike sent in. He said Jey Uso also qualified for the Money in the Bank. By the way, on this show, he said it was wise of Jey to leave through the crowd after his match because it completely avoided the Wyatt 6. Whether that be by coincidence or not, but yeah.
You saw what Jay put out on the thing afterwards, right? He said you can have the 5-5 back. I don't want no smoke.
Well, and that's the thing. I've been saying that for a while. I like what they've been doing with Jey Uso's entrance, but that was the France crowd that kind of got that going. In my head, it was like, all right, that should probably always be reserved for the Bray Wyatt stuff. And so it seems like they're going to kind of be playing with it. So I kind of hope they get it back, but that's just me. So we'll see if the crowd still does that or not. But yeah,
I think the Fireflies will forever be associated with that. This was absolutely phenomenal, though. Like, it really was. The team behind this fucking crushed it. Those masks are amazing.
Yeah, it was actually a Hollywood mask designer, right?
Yeah, they did Triple H's gear for a couple WrestleManias before. They did Bray's original Fiend gear and shit like that. The team behind this, they made these masks and shit, fucking dope. And there was so many subtle callbacks and hints and homages to people. Ramblin' Rabbit with the sledgehammer. That was a Bludgeon Brothers thing.
Yeah.
That was a subtle callback to Luke Harper. Yeah. Harper and Roland being the Bludgeon Brothers. Again.
Well, shoot. Dope. If you look closely here, Uncle Howdy is wearing one of the gloves of the Fiend on his right hand here at the top of the lamp. So, and not only that,
I want to say it's the one that says I want to say it's the glove that says hurt on it. Because I know he had two. One said hurt, one said heal. I can't remember which hand was which, but I want to say it's the one he has on his hand now, because he only has one. And I want to say it's the one that says hurt on it.
Well, and if you
comment on the right hand side say,
oh yeah, dope.
Oh, okay. But if you've ever seen the Peacock documentary of the Bray Wyatt documentary they did, absolutely phenomenal. And it was just Bray Wyatt basically just talking about all his machinations and his iterations of his characters and the detail that he put into these characters, which is, just in the costume design alone, there's little hints and Easter eggs and things in there as well. It's just absolutely outstanding. Now, do you think they're going to add an actual sixth member to this group, or do you think it'll be the lamp itself kind of embodying the essence of Bray Wyatt still here?
I would it only depends on whether or not Sister Abigail was part of that vision, and I do believe she was. Sister Abigail was a huge part of the whole Fiend thing, even with the Firefly Funhouse. I think that depends on whether Alexa Bliss is actually coming back. If she does, then I think Sister Abigail will be the sixth. If not, again, I'm perfectly fine with it being it being the Fiend's essence that's in the lamp. You know, do you remember when the Fiend came back? A little bit. No, Nikki she Cross is Abby the Witch.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, yeah, Nikki Cross.
Okay,
she was one of the puppets that was on the Firefly Funhouse. So I think if Sister Abigail still has a place in the story, then yes, she will be the sixth. But again, you remember when Bray, when he first came out as the Fiend, do you remember that lantern he had
with the
his
mouth
face attached to it or whatever?
It was great.
Yeah, crazy work. If they're gonna say if there is no sixth, but they're gonna use the Fiend as the sixth, as why like his spirit, then I'm perfectly fine with that also.
Dude, you could use that lamp. That'd be
either
dope.
way. I'm good.
Yeah. This was outstanding. Absolutely great. Yeah, absolutely great. Whatever they choose to do with it, hopefully they've got some place to go with it, and hopefully Triple H will treat it with more respect than Vince McMahon did. I feel like Vince McMahon just did not do a great job with the Bray Wyatt.
I think Triple H will.
Yeah, I think he will too. He'll at least try a lot better.
I think Vince, or I think he will. I think because did you see the post that Bray's sister made about it? About when she saw the debut of it. She put out this long, heartfelt post about, Wyndham's vision, but he also shared all that with his brother. They bounced ideas, him and Bo bounced ideas off of each other about this whole thing. And that was their dream, was to do this together.
At WrestleMania,
so now Bo
too,
is carrying that torch. Yeah. Now, now Bo is carrying that torch for his brother in his brother's honor. So I think if they gave him the freedom to really push Bray's dream, I think it'll be great. I really do. And I'm glad that they're shying away from like the supernatural aspect in a sense. Because like I remember one of the comments was you can't beat up ghosts. That's not what they wanted. So it gives it a more real physical aspect to it. It was if they're just more brutal than supernatural. You get what I'm saying?
I know Kathy's not real big into pro wrestling, but that's a good little theory, though. I like that. The light could be broken and the six could repair.
Yeah.
I like that idea. It's really good. See, you might become a pro wrestling fan. Come on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is. Well, Brandon kind of alluded to it a little bit. It's not 100% confirmed yet, from what I understand. However, sources like the Indy Star, which is a reputable, I believe, newspaper, right, in Indianapolis, or whatever. Anyway, they're reporting that WWE is apparently in negotiations with Indianapolis to bring the Royal Rumble to Indianapolis, Indiana, on February 1st, 2025, in Lucas Oil Stadium, the home of the Indianapolis Colts, which is. I'm surprised that WWE has not utilized this stadium yet ever. It's been around for 16 years now or so, and it's never been used in that capacity. I'm actually stunned by that. Oh yeah, Ty. I guess he doesn't like the idea that Indy Star is reputable. I guess. Okay, fair. I don't know, but they were reporting that. That's all I know. Fake news.
Wow.
Can't trust that fake news. But apparently, this stadium, I think, is just absolutely, if you've never been to Lucas Oil Stadium, it's not as new as some of the stadiums are in the NFL now because you get new stadiums year after year these days. But when this thing opened, it was state of the art, and it still is in some respects. So it's definitely.
Did you see them setting up for the pool?
Oh, the Olympic swimmers and stuff. I saw what it looked like finished and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very. I've been in there with monster truck rallies, and it's just a great stadium. All things, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because we live here in Indiana and we've been to Colts games and things like that. But not only that, if it's cold in February, this has got a retractable roof on it, so you can close it up if it gets too cold. You don't have that worry like where they had a WrestleMania in Philadelphia, Ty, where it was too freaking cold.
Oh, shots fired.
But anyway, so yeah, I mean, this could be a great idea. Not only that, apparently in this deal, if it is agreed upon, and the Royal Rumble comes to Indianapolis in 2025. In the multi-million-dollar deal, it appears that there's a potential for SummerSlam and WrestleMania to also be housed at Lucas Oil Stadium sometime in the future. So if that ends up happening, we have definitely got to go to Rumble and Mania. SummerSlam, I'm down for too, but I'm sure these will not all be within the same year or anything. But yeah, because I think WrestleMania is booked at least, I know for a year out for sure, but it would be at least 2 years from now. But yeah, this could be great. Indianapolis, I've been saying they should get another WrestleMania since WrestleMania 8 that I went to in 1992 as a young 10-year-old lad. So yeah, I'm hoping we get another one here. So what do you guys think about this news?
I personally would love to go see a WrestleMania or a Royal Rumble at Lucas Oil.
The only problem with having
wow.
The only problem with the thing about in any big stadium like this is the wrestling ring is so small in this big stadium. It's hard to get good seats. That's why you got to rely on the big boards and things like that. But even football, sometimes it's hard to get real good seats.
But even, but even where we were when we went to the game and we watched Pittsburgh play Indy, those seats weren't terrible. We could still see the players on the field, and then we had the screen to look at as well. So even those seats for Mania, I'd take it.
Yeah, for Mania, I'd take it. Yeah, I mean, you go for the experience of going at this point. Yeah, Mike said he's been to 3 WrestleManias himself. I know he went to 25 with Undertaker and Shawn in Texas. I know that for sure. I'm guessing WrestleMania 8 too, probably as well. But yeah, so I mean, I know he's been to quite a few. But and I guess Ty shot back. He's like, at least this, since the team sucks, they have a cool stadium. So, we'll see how. We're going to talk a little bit about the Colts in a little bit too when we get to the NFL segment. But But yeah, he said you can brag about a cool place. So hey, I will brag about Lucas.
All right,
Stadium.
Ty, we ain't about to sit here. We ain't about to sit here and let you just throw shade. All right, bro. Let's calm the fuck down.
I got a
There's
question.
plenty of time for that. Yeah, what's up?
Question. What's
Okay.
more expensive, an NFL ticket or a wrestling ticket?
WrestleMania. Wrestling in general, no. Football for like a regular season game would be more expensive than like a weekly wrestling show. But if you go to WrestleMania, that's like Super Bowl tickets. Possibly, well, probably not as expensive as a Super Bowl actually, but it's probably a little cheaper than that. But depending on where you get your seat. But yeah, it wouldn't be cheap. You're probably looking at least hundreds of dollars for sure. Easily.
Here's the thing, though. Hypothetically, if they were doing a WrestleMania at Lucas Oil, I promise you, I'm only doing one day. Ain't no way in hell I'm paying for two.
Oh yeah. What if it's like a package deal?
If it's a package deal, that's different.
Yeah.
But if I gotta pay for them separately, I'm not doing 2 days.
Yeah, that would be a hang up there for sure.
I can't do 2.
I would have a hard time going to
Couldn't do 2 days.
WrestleMania and not paying for 2 days, or not to see all of it. You know what I mean?
That's
that
the
would
thing,
be
though.
that would suck.
If it's
I agree with you.
If it's one of those, like if you got like the pass or whatever, where you got to see the superstars and all that other shit for the 2 days, all right, cool. If you did like the whole meet and greet, all that shit, cool. But if I'm just paying for I gotta pay for 2 separate tickets to go for like a 2-day event, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I can understand.
First of all, I gotta stay in Indy. That's absurd.
Yeah. And the convention center's right down the street, so they can do their thing.
Yeah,
What
I
if there
stayed
was
in
a
Indy for a
Comic-Con
day
going on at the
and
same
one
time?
night. And I was like, yo, bro. We did that.
Yeah.
Oh, we went to a Comic-Con up in Indy. It's like a day and a half, bro. Like we see.
I mean, it's a great location because I mean, like with the convention center right there, they can do their WWE interactive experience. And I know Indianapolis is talking about building that Major League Soccer stadium right near there as well. So they're definitely investing in these bigger spectacles, it seems like. So I'm happy to see Indianapolis finally getting on the board there because it seems like forever since they've been trying to do anything like that. So
Miranda might get to see Randy Orton. You know what I'm saying?
He's still wrestling by then. That'd be the thing. But yeah, Ty doesn't think soccer's happening there, by the way. And he said that the shade, that's why you have to have a fancy roof. So
all right. Okay.
All right, Ty. But when it comes with the highs,
you can talk shit all you want, Ty, but it is what it is.
Oh, did the mayor back out of the deal and backstab the backers? I didn't hear about that, so you might be right.
Wow.
Sounds
That's
like what
that
Bloomington did too.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're taking that money now and throwing it at WWE. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. But anyway, with the highs of WWE, though, there is a little bit of lows to talk about as AEW. This week's Wednesday night Dynamite had their lowest viewership in their history at 502,000 viewers, which is about 180-some thousand lower than last week. Now, a lot of people were speculating that maybe a 1-week aberration. I don't know. But there was no NBA playoffs, no hockey that I'm aware of. So there really wasn't a whole lot of competition. Now, in the demo, they were number 3 on cable. So it wasn't like all bad when it comes to the demographic. But that's not great at 500,000 viewers when WWE's pulling. Now, granted, all ratings are down across the board because cable ratings are just not as popular or not as important as they used to be. People are watching on YouTube clips or watching online or whatever it might be. So it may not be the end of the world, but it just doesn't look good for sure. So there's a lot of people freaking out saying it's the death of AEW. I don't know if I'm ready to say that just yet. They do got a good pay-per-view coming up, and maybe next week they bounce back, and they're doing good television right now, in my opinion. But it's the viewers just ain't.
All I know is at the same time though that Raw was on, so was the NBA Finals. And there were more people that tuned in to see the whole Wyatt 6 thing than they watched the Boston Celtics win the fucking game. Really? And like a lot of people found out Boston won after they seen the Wyatt 6. Yeah, it was crazy.
I figured that'd be the other way around easily.
But again, I know that's what I would have thought. But it is what it is. The AEW will be AEW. AEW will be fine. WWE wouldn't be putting on the shows that they're putting on if it wasn't for competition.
Yeah, I agree with that.
for all these wrestling fans, you need both of these promotions to be successful. That's how you get good shit. Because if one of them fails, then there's no need for the other one to try. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Competition breeds competition. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be
So,
getting any of the
people wish
TNA stuff with Jordan Grace, or was it John Hendry, or was that his name who came over to NXT this week?
Joe Hendry. Get
Joe
it right.
Hendry.
Say his name and he will appear.
I never heard of the man before this week, okay?
Me neither. That shit was bananas, bro.
But apparently he got like a bunch of views on their X page and stuff. So yeah, I mean, none of that stuff would be happening if it wasn't for AEW doing what they're doing with the Forbidden Door stuff over here. So yeah. So NXT, I don't know. I think it was, I'd have to look and see what the ratings were for both, but I would imagine it was probably a little better than AEW this week for sure.
Yeah, I know they're doing stuff with Noah as well too.
Okay.
WWE,
and I'm glad to see they are finally doing that, because they didn't used to want to play ball at all. And
nope.
That's
nope.
Again, you can thank AEW for that.
I'm just saying, I hold out hope that one day we will get an AEW WWE crossover.
I hope so too. That would, I think, be good. It would definitely help AEW at this point. It depends on how much WWE really doesn't want AEW to succeed, if they would be willing to do that. But yeah, I would love to see it. I mean, that's for sure. But yeah, we'll see next week and see if this becomes. I mean, yes, they are. AEW was pulling 1 million views at one point. Now it's down to half. So that is a concerning trend. It is on the downward tick, but it does fluctuate a bit between 700 and 800. This week was 500 for whatever reason. So we'll see what it does next week. It's not the end of the world. And hopefully, apparently, Warner Brothers Discovery, they were saying that does not really concern that it's not going to affect their negotiations, but they're not going to say anything if it would either. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But yeah, it was a little concerning to see that number for sure. So yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. That does it for wrestling this week. So I guess we'll move on to the movie segment. Kicking off the movies portion of the show, I thought it would be interesting to talk about this news story. Will Smith, coming off the success of Bad Boys Ride or Die, has officially been cast in Sony's new sci-fi thriller called Resistor. The film follows the discovery of a device that can reflect gravity, but those who discover it are thrown into prison after they refuse to suppress the truth of its discovery. The reason why I bring this up is because the plot details of it kind of sounds like something that could happen in today's world. You know the truth, you try to get the truth out there, and all of a sudden, nope, can't have that. We're going to throw you in jail. It's supposedly based on a book called Influx by Daniel Suarez. So yeah, I guess they get locked down by a covert organization known as the Bureau of Technology Control. Sounds like those fact checkers and suppressors on X, if you ask me. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, obviously, Will Smith's wheelhouse, with I Am Legend and I, Robot, would definitely back up the fact that he's good with this sci-fi stuff. So I'm interested and intrigued with the story alone. So yeah, any thoughts on this at all, or just kind of we'll see?
We'll see. For me,
yeah. I mean, I just thought the plot details would interest you a little bit with the whole truth suppression when we talk about that sort of thing.
Yeah, that definitely seems like it's right up his alley.
Is it kind of like a predictive programming thing? I know we've talked about that a little bit, where maybe like, oh, it's it's normal. So when we do it in real life, you saw it in a movie, it's okay. So I don't know, but yeah. Any thoughts, Aaron, at all? I know you're kind of quiet over there.
Well, I've always thought that Hollywood should just read more books, because there are some great stories that come out of books, and I hope that this does well, because this will be something new.
Agreed.
Not a remake after remake with agenda thrown into it, So I hope this does well. And I really do like Will Smith. I mean, I know he hasn't been great in the fan base side of maybe some political things, but I mean, I do like him as an actor. And yeah, so I hope it does well.
Mostly Mostly for slapping Chris Rock, I think was the big thing.
She slapped the holy
Yeah.
fire out of Chris
And that's
Rock,
the
bro.
thing, like Will Smith, I don't know whether I should feel bad for him or
Yeah.
maybe he enjoys his
Bro.
life, but
Nah,
his
That's a
wife's
messed up
got,
situation.
Cheat on that
got
man.
issues.
Bro,
I can't stand
you
to
can
see
see that
my
on that
friends
man's
go, hold
face.
on. Like, I can't stand to see my friends go through shit. I don't want to pay to see your movies knowing your life is fucking weird. And I don't know. I feel like he needs some therapy.
Well, didn't she like sleep with like like his son's like friend or something like that?
Yeah.
If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, and
August.
then
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's
Yep.
messed up stuff.
told him about it to his face.
Yeah.
She had
Yeah.
this man crying on fucking TV, bro. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
That's
some
me.
shit that
I'm
should
dumping
be
her. I
private
mean, that's
and
it.
live left private,
Mhm.
bro. Like, it's a wrap. And then she got the audacity. She be talking about another man, how she wishes she'd have married him, and this, that, and the third. Has her daughter writing fucking letters to a dude she never fucking met. Like, bro.
That's one of those situations. It's like it's better just to be single. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Real.
I mean,
It's
not only
like-
that, it's Will
like
freaking
this-
Smith. He could get any woman he wants. He's rich. He's good looking. I mean, I don't know. I don't
The
understand
girl
it.
that he stopped, the lady he had like a thing with, I can't remember the movie. They was in a movie together, and he had a little thing with some lady on it. He should have kept it that way, because to come back to shit like this is crazy, bro. Like, I can't do it. I couldn't do it. Will better man than me, because ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell. You can't
Same here.
just demoralize me as a man on national TV in front of fucking people, millions of people, and then expect me to be okay with the shit. Like,
Yeah.
bro.
No chance. No chance. Well, we wish him all the luck, and hopefully
'Cause
he can get that part of his life figured out. But
For sure. For
no,
sure.
for sure.
But as
And
far
hopefully
as the man as an actor goes,
Yeah.
yeah.
one of the
Yeah,
best
he's
I
a
Am
great
actors.
Legend is one of my
actor.
favorite movies.
I mean, I don't think I've ever
Yeah,
seen a
I Am-
movie that he was in that I didn't like. I know a lot of people hated, what was it called? The one with it was his son that was like
After Earth.
After Earth.
Yeah, that was one of them. That
Uh-huh.
was, that
I
was
did not
that's like
like
the only
that.
one.
I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, it kind of seemed
played-
confusing, like there wasn't really a direction,
Mhm.
kind of a little bit, but I actually did like it.
Kathy thinks the slap was
He
completely
said the
set
slap
up.
was set up.
I mean,
That shit was
maybe.
crazy. He smacked the fuck out of Chris Rock.
I said just keep his wife out your mouth.
Tell
Yeah.
Augustine that. Anyway.
What?
Man, I'm staying out of some of this.
Yeah, that's out of line.
Anyway,
That's out of line. That's out of
that's not a
line.
lie.
No,
Yeah.
man. Pursuit of Happiness, though,
Yeah.
legitimately.
Sad
Solid.
movie.
That movie for me, bro.
7 pounds.
But when he-
Another
7 pounds was good. Ali.
Yeah.
did not see
Men
that
in
one.
Black.
Men in
All
Black.
the Men in
Ali
Black.
was solid, bro.
Well,
Men in
the
Black?
third.
No, I
Third
like
one-
the third. There was the fourth with Chris Hemsworth. I wasn't a big fan of. I just didn't feel like it did the same.
True.
I like the
but
third
I was talking like ones that actually had Will Smith in it. The third one, I
was in
don't
the
think
third one?
it.
Oh,
He
I
made
see
a
what-
cameo on the
I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. Sorry. Yeah,
What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, he was in the
He
third
wasn't
film
in
all
the-
the way through. Yeah, he just wasn't
Yeah.
in the Chris Hemsworth one. Yeah,
Mm.
I
No,
heard
there's-
Aaron wrong. He was
there's
trying to say of the
four
ones he
Men in
was
Black
in, he
movies.
didn't like. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
There's four Men in Black movies.
There's 4 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's in 3 of them.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, the third one, I don't think the third one hit where it was supposed to. Gonna be honest.
I just kind of
Mhm.
appreciated the fact that they went back in time and had like Josh Brolin playing a young Tommy Lee Jones, which I thought he did a pretty good impression. And it kind of tied into Will Smith's character and his dad. I liked all that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. It was a little different for sure. But I can see where you're coming from with it. But
Besides his acting in Pursuit of Happiness, again, at the end of the movie when he gets the job, you felt that shit. But for me, it was legitimately the one episode in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When he looks at Uncle Phil, and he says, "Why don't he want me?" Bro, that
Great
shit broke
episode.
my heart.
that
Real
was
talk.
a
Because coming from a family that was, with a dad in the same kind of situation, like I felt that shit. Like it was like, damn, bro. And it's like, what do you say to that shit? But he made you feel that fucking pain. And it was like, yo,
Well, not only that, the little subtlety of that, he
that
doesn't
was
say
2
anything.
times like
I mean, Uncle Phil just grabs him, pulls him close, and then the thing I really liked about it, it's a subtle thing, but he's wearing a hat, Will Smith is, and it starts to fall off a little bit. Uncle Phil just takes it and just shoves it to the side. He don't care. You know, it was a little, and I don't think it was meant to happen.
Yep.
But it was just a nice little element to it. It was a cool little improv, and I thought it just made it hit a lot more.
When he said, "Why don't he want me, man?" and like, and Phil grabs him and gives him that hug or whatever, and he just lets him cry into his chest. That shit broke me, bro. Like, I love Will Smith and a lot of shit.
No, I don't think any of us have seen Iron Claw yet. I need to watch it. I've been wanting to watch it.
No, I have not.
We do.
I have not.
We'll try to talk about it on a wrestling segment once we watch it. But yeah, it looks good. I want to check it out for sure. Next up, I thought we'd watch a quick trailer for the new Penguin TV series coming out. It's got a new trailer out, so we'll react to that. Let's
Penguin.
Yeah, for the Batman, the sequel to the Batman. With Robert Pattinson, even though he's not in this. This is Colin Farrell, so let's check it out.
Look at this. What that madman did. Listen, Sal. Carmine Falcone's dead. And I'm here now. I'll be calling the shots. The Falcones are still licking their wounds. They're distracted. Their business will be ripe for the taking.
My father's been dead a week. You want to take what's mine?
I'm the daughter of the Falcone Don, but he's dead. The family thinks I'm broken. I'm not broken.
You and me, kid. We gotta take whatever we decide is ours. Because no one's gonna give it to us. We're not without a fight.
Penguin, you work for the family. You will do as you're told.
I refuse to let these old men push me aside again. So I'm going to take from them now. And I'm going to force them to their knees.
What is it you're really after, us?
We're gonna tear down the Empire from the inside out.
You know, Oz, people underestimate you, but not me. I've always known you were capable of more.
Woo! Okay, at least we got a release date now, or release month. So yeah,
that's like if the Sopranos met Batman. Like
pretty
if the
much.
Sopranos lived in Gotham. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, in a way, I like that realistic element to the Batman franchise. I mean, obviously the Dark Knight trilogy did that as well, a little more grounded. But in this case, it feels like it's even taken a little bit further to some degree with the mafia type style stuff with the show. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I know we're supposed to be getting at least one more Batman movie. I'm imagining that'll probably end up being a trilogy as well. I'm just kind of hoping that the Batman in the new DCU ends up being a little bit more comic booky, not quite so down to earth. I mean, if you're going to be in a world with Superman and all these others, it makes sense to do that. But for this here, it's an Elseworlds thing, kind of set on its own. Yeah, this looks absolutely outstanding. So glad to see we're getting it on September. Did you see the Batman, Aaron?
No.
I know Matt raves about it. Matt loved it.
I mean, I just had a question.
I haven't seen it either. I want to watch it.
Eric, did you see it?
Yes, I did. Yep.
Did they stay true to the comic where Batman doesn't use guns?
I can't think of it. Well, I mean, there were some instances in the comics where I think he did use guns, and he did like Superman's killed in comics as well, But I don't. Actually, there might have been at the end where he might have taken some guns from some bad guys and used those, but I don't recall him like using them himself. you know, kind of like Ben Affleck did a little bit in his version. But I don't know. I mean, shoot, back in the day, like Michael Keaton had guns on his Batmobile and things like that. So I guess I get that doesn't bother me as much as I know it's kind of become a thing since The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight kind of made it, oh, no guns, no killing is what they said in the movie. But I don't know how comic accurate that was. Like, I think it's been done before many times, but people just kind of look at The Dark Knight as the standard bearer, and I think they want it to go like that. Like Superman, like Christopher Reeve's Superman, they say didn't kill, even though he kind of killed Zod in the second movie a little bit there. But
hold on a second. To say that these superheroes don't kill people, listen, I get it if they're fighting like a supervillain, but you got to think about the henchmen in this aspect. And I think I learned this shit from playing the Batman games and the Spider-Man games. The shit that they do to like normal people, there's no way you could say that somebody survived the trauma to their bodies. That man broke bones, bro.
Oh yeah,
was knocking people out by throwing them in the pavement hard as shit, hitting them in the head with pipes and shit. Yo, Batman has probably inadvertently killed a bunch of people.
Oh, guaranteed.
And so, like, the whole thing, I don't kill shit. It's nice to say, but you can't tell me every henchman survived the ass whooping from Batman. This motherfucker was literally trained by assassins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Spider-Man is just strong as shit. Like, there's no way you can hang somebody upside down for 2 hours and then he not die. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they did that shit all the time. Just strung people up and waited for the police to catch them. You know what I mean?
I never understood the argument of, well, Man of Steel, Superman, you know, snapped Zod's neck. He never should have done that. A Superman would never do that. It was either that or he was going to destroy the world. So he was not going to stop. So what do you expect Superman to do?
Yeah.
I mean, in that regard, I mean, not only that,
it's the same thing he did to Doomsday. He had to break Doomsday's neck.
No, Mike, I think Miranda had to go check on some kids or something.
Hell,
yeah, but
yeah,
but anyway, no, but yeah, I mean, but the thing about the Man of Steel that really, the thing that Man of Steel bugged me more was the fact that he let his father die by a tornado. To me, it's like I would rather they write it more like the original Christopher Reeve did, where Jonathan Kent died of a heart attack, because that shows you that no matter how powerful Superman is, he can't stop a heart attack. There's nothing he could do about that. But Kevin Costner saying, "No, man, you stay over there. The world is not ready for you yet. You let me die." Superman could have went and grabbed him and pulled him back, and not a problem. Yeah, he would have revealed himself to the world, but it ended up happening anyway. So I don't know. That part bugged me about the movie more than that. So
that kind of showed just a little bit more the respect he had for his father. Or
I agree with that. That was
father,
right.
You know, and I agree that the world wouldn't have been ready for him. That he would have been like captured and probably became a test subject for something. You know, I don't think the world was ready for him. It was when I think they used metahumans in it. The metahumans in it started to become a thing that the world started to be more okay with it, I guess, of the fact of a superhero being on their side helping them out. So
I can see that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I understand and I get that too, but like he was gonna face that no matter what. I mean, when he did decide to come out, like he was still a target of government and everything else, but he just refused to go along with it. You get what I'm saying? So like whether he saved his dad in that situation or not, eventually it was still going to be what it was going to be.
Yes, that's also true.
You know what I mean? They were still trying to capture him. They were still trying to, you know what I'm saying? So like, regardless of that, like I get what you're saying, Eric, and I also get what you're saying, Aaron, too. Like, I don't know. It's just like the same thing with Spider-Man. Like, he could have prevented the whole thing with Ben. But he chose not to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time.
Sure.
Every time.
Mike,
like the one superhero. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Mike, Christopher Reeve will always be the real Superman, is what he said. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Christopher Reeve too, but you gotta understand too, in today's world, there's a lot of kids these days probably haven't even seen Christopher Reeve Superman. Which to those of us who have grown up with Christopher Reeve, yes, he'll always be the real Superman to us, probably. But a lot of people think Henry Cavill was the best Superman, and they pretty much hated the fact that he got let go, and they started this whole movement about bring back the Snyder cut and bring Henry back and all this stuff. So kids today, and not only that.
Fun fact.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I have a fun fact on the Henry Cavill story. So he was trying to do, huh?
I said who? He doesn't know who Christopher Reeve is. Bro, come on, man.
He was trying to, or he was working on a project to make a Warhammer movie.
Yeah. As far as I know, he still is.
Well, last I heard, I guess I should probably cite my sources first, but it makes sense to me. I guess this is just a rumor, so just so everybody knows, this is a rumor. Is that he backed out of the project because they wanted to put some woke things in there. And the main thing being that they wanted female space marines, and
that wasn't a thing.
That's not a thing anywhere. And I don't know the deep lore of like Warhammer, but that's not a thing. But they were gonna force it. But the stupid thing is that I know this about Warhammer, in that they have a really cool group called the Sororitas, which is all women, and they are more fierce than the Space Marines, and they are very respected, and most of the enemies of the Space Marines and the Empire, they're scared of the Sororitas. So, and the Sororitas, they don't have any enhancements. They're just women who are just good at kicking ass. So
maybe you know what this means. He left after the female S starts. Whatever that means. No,
I don't know what that means.
I have no idea what that means. Maybe.
No, like I listened to a couple Warhammer books. Shout out to Josh because he got me to kind of fall into it. And I know the group that Aaron is talking about because they were in one of the books I was actually listening to. And he's right. These women were just women. Unlike the Primarchs, which is like top tier here, these women were like feared amongst all the Space Marines and all the other little lowly guys in that. Like they end up capturing a bunch of them and taking them somewhere for questioning and third, but it's just Space Marines.
He said, no, not just Space Marines. The Emperor's chosen Adeptus Custodes. Now you're talking a whole new level.
Oh, wow, really?
I'm not even.
Oh, Ty is the Warhammer nerd. Ty, you need to jump in and explain.
Yeah, right.
The first time I heard about it was the women that you're talking about was in the Horus Heresy. So like that's as far as my knowledge goes on how it was in there.
Apparently, it was written in numerous rehashing of lore that women cannot be Space Marines. So, yeah, well, that's see, that's the thing. Henry Cavill's a big nerd. That's one of the reasons he left The Witcher, from what I understand, is because they were changing stuff he didn't care for. So it's nothing new, for him. So that makes 100% sense to me the way he would do that. That's why they are chapters of badass only women's divisions. So,
Yep.
Not only that, the rumor going around, whether it's true or not, is that Henry Cavill is up for the role of the next James Bond. If that's the case, down for that to be the one big ass James Bond. But yeah, and I agree with Mike. It would have been cool as a kid to see Christopher Reeve, Michael Keaton, and Linda Carter teaming up to be a Justice League type movie, or at least a what is it? What do they call it? So the Trinity, I guess, would be for those three. That would be pretty cool. Yeah. Also, Superman in a wheelchair. So you do know who Christopher Reeve is.
Was
it Christopher? Was it Chris Rock who said Superman can't walk? What the hell kind of shit is that? I mean, sucks. But yeah, rest in peace, Christopher Reeve. Always a great one for sure. What's that? Oh my
god!
Come on, Ty. Get
to be that young again is crazy.
Gosh dang!
I hate talking to him because like I feel like I'm old when he says shit. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't like it. Seeing my work son tonight was like made me want to throw up. He's getting old too.
I know, right?
Well, speaking of DC, there was a little bit more news. We've got DC is obviously known for their animation. right? That's some of the
Yep.
best stuff that DC's put out. The movies
Yep.
and TV series, sometimes not so much. But animation is where they make their bread and butter. We've got, obviously, they made an announcement recently that Blue Beetle was going to be getting an animated series to kind of tie the old movie into the new DCEU, maybe just a little bit. They're also just announced that Kite Man, which is a spinoff of the Harley Quinn animated series, is coming to HBO Max, I believe, in the next few months. And we've also got a Elseworlds Batman the Animated Series coming. I believe it's to Amazon. I could be wrong about where it's coming out, but either way. And this is supposed to take place in the 1940s, and it's made by the same people, the majority of the same people, who did Batman the Animated Series back in the 90s, which was absolutely outstanding and one of DC's best projects. So, yeah, I mean, and here's some of the images from the actual show. They released the cast list and all this sort of stuff. So this definitely looks a little bit more noir-esque and maybe kind of serves as a spiritual prequel to the animated series from the 90s. What did you guys think of the animated series back in the day? Did you guys watch it? I know they eventually branched it out into a Justice League series and things like that. Thoughts on this? Obviously, we know Kevin Conroy coming back to voice Batman is going to kind of suck, but it's time for someone else to take the reins. But I'm intrigued by it at least. What do you guys think?
I promise you right now, Miranda's never seen an episode. I have. It's actually on Netflix right now too, and I started to watch some of the because I used to love that Batman. I don't know whether it was the art style or what, but like I love the old like say like 60s kind of look and architect, but with like a futuristic kind of feel to it. Like the cars were the old cars, but like it was real sleek and the way it was all done. I love the animation of this, and it was just solid. Like it was really well done. So yeah. Sorry. Got choked up.
It's very emotional. Yeah.
Super emotional. I can't wait. I'd watch it.
Yeah.
No
well, I mean, you
question
can tell in these images here that even the animation style has the same designs of
Yep.
like the characters and things like that. So you could definitely tell it's being done by a lot of the same people, especially Bruce Timm. But yeah,
especially where the women look like they look
Yeah.
like they did, in the aesthetic.
the
Let
aesthetic.
me try that again. The aesthetic and the animation style and the way the costumes look, like it looks like the old costumes.
Like maybe even
I'm
like
here
the
for it.
old Batman 60s TV show a little bit, even with some of the designs. Just the way
Oh,
the
that's
style
the
was
new
in the
one?
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the new series that's coming out. I think it's August, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I mean,
Hey, a lot of people forget like Catwoman is a hell of a character in this series too, and like in that Batman series, like for real. Like
Yeah.
Catwoman was a huge part of that whole series too. So I'm here for it.
Look,
I'm here for it.
if they're gonna start with this new stuff, then they need to come out with new toys because I hate trying to find stuff that's fun. We used to have fun toys, right?
oh, I know, right?
There ain't shit out there
Bro.
that's fun anymore.
It's like they don't sell like they
Alright.
used to. I think that's a lot of it.
Mm-mm.
Give me 1 second here to go on this little tirade, okay? I'm sorry.
You're right.
You remember when we were kids and like you go to McDonald's and you get a Happy Meal and the toys that was inside the Happy Meal, right? You remember how cool they were, innovative. You remember like the little
I bet they would
Transformers
still be like.
fucking toys.
I left a tote in Ohio full of McDonald's Happy Meal toys. Like,
that'd be
it
Yes.
pisses me off.
You remember like the little Transformer toys that McDonald's had? That was like either it was a French fry or a hamburger or like the little hot cake box or whatever. Like I had all them bitches. I remember when the California raisins was in the fucking Happy Meal.
Oh, I love the
I got
California raisins.
Some of the California.
Yeah.
Bro, what happened? to that
Brayden
shit?
got.
So
I was gonna
Kids are
say
doing this.
California Raisin cup.
oh, dude, I got a
It's-
California
because they're-
raisin mug.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Dude, I still got those old Batman glass
Go ahead.
mugs in my cabinet right now from like Batman Forever.
Dude, I wish I still
So
had mine, bro.
I'm not crazy. So
Yeah.
you remember the collector's glasses you could be able to get, right? Like
Yeah, I've still
I
got mine.
remember the Batman,
Yeah.
bruh.
I had
What
Care Bear
happened?
ones.
That's what I'm saying. What happened? Like, where did we go? I got Hot Wheels. I remember getting Hot Wheels, like actual fucking Hot Wheels cars, like the die-cast metal Hot Wheels in Happy Meals.
Mhm.
Like, what happened?
Yeah,
W-
I
got
still have these in my
Yes.
cabinet in
Yeah.
pristine
Oh
order.
my
I had the
God,
Robin
bro.
one.
I've got all 4.
I had the Batman one. Oh, damn.
All 4.
Yeah, that one. I think the top left was the one I had. That one.
Yeah. I mean, these were
she
great.
was so much cool. Like, I don't understand.
Shut up,
You know how
Ty.
much
I think we need to go restart.
Now you an asshole, bro.
Oh, and Kathy, yes, Kathy, that was a Catwoman costume. Supposed to be in the 1940s, but it's for a show coming out this year. Yes, so Halloween,
and it was way
costume
more
idea.
modest. It was still sexy, but it's way more modest. Now you got like when.
No, Jim Carrey was Riddler.
It is what it is.
Jim Carrey was Batman. What the?
No, Val Kilmer was Batman.
The podcast.
Jim
First of all, you could clearly see. That's another thing. Jim Carrey's Riddler was the shit. That was
he was playing the Joker a bit, but yeah.
Jim Carrey's lost his shit too. Don't get me started on him.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
That's for damn.
Mike
sure.
said, remember when we used to get cool toys in cereal boxes?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, I used to all the time.
Even out of Cracker Jack boxes.
Now you just get freaking lead and drugs. Listen, Coke was frosted on frosted mini wheats.
That's not sugar.
I've seen it on TikTok. They found it coming across the border.
I can't.
You know, I think this might have been like back in an era when they wanted kids to be kids, you know, and in nowadays culture, I think people put too much pressure on children to grow up. Like it's like there's some sort of competition for a child to mature at this fast rate, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, I get this way as a parent. Like some people, they kind of tell me like they expect my kid to be at a certain point in their development. Like they're expecting them to be like, oh, well, they need to be doing A, B, C, and D. Like they need to be like potty trained. They need to be doing basic math. They need to be like reading something, you know, being able to read like 4-letter words and stuff like that. And I mean, and that stuff is important, you know, but I'm just letting them be a kid. I mean, they'll learn to do this stuff and I'll try to help them, but I don't know.
Sometimes you just got to let them spread their wings and just be there to help them.
That's what we did. That's what we've done with all our kids.
Not threaten to kick them out as soon as they're 18, when they're fucking 8.
I mean, hold on. Time out. Jaden got to go.
I mean,
I'm not talking about you, Brandon. We don't take you seriously ever.
That's only because you are threatened by him.
Just because he's taller than you. Look, you're just like Trump. Trump can't stand to stand next to Barron because he's so tall. And you don't like Jaden because he's so tall.
Yeah, he's past you, man. Yeah.
Hey, man, shut up, dude. Like, we just talking about Jaden getting out, bro.
But you don't. I'm not saying you have to push them out when they're 18, but at least by 30 for sure.
Well, yeah, but like, there's parents where they're like, "Oh, once you turn 18, I'm done with you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, teach them the skills that they need. Then, if you're gonna do that, don't just fucking put a roof over their head and call it a day. They send them to school. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. I know. I had no idea what I was doing in my 20s. That's for sure.
You know what I was doing when I know what I was doing when I was these kids' age, and it wasn't good. I'm not gonna turn myself in for it now, though. So let's move on.
Nah, like my mom, she was at 18. You gotta get out. She didn't mean that shit. She was just talking. I moved out because I wanted to, but that door was always open for me to go back to my mother's crib. And like when I would go to my mom's house, even if it was just to stay for like a weekend or just to see what she was up to type shit, it was always open to me. And that's the way I treat my kids. Yeah, I talk shit, I make fun, whatever. I'm not kicking my son out. If he wants to stay, he stays. Till he learns well enough that he wants to stand on his own 2 feet. And I'm gonna be there for that too. Like as a father, my job is to make sure I put you in a position to succeed. Period. Whether it's under my roof or not under my roof. I'm doing everything I am to turn you into the man you should be. Not the man I want you to be, but the man you should be. So if I can guide you along that process and you still here, like Jaden has hit a point of maturity, and this is all on his own. Stubborn, he's bullheaded as fuck. But at the same time, Jaden's determined and driven.
To do it on his own.
Yeah. And that's the best way for a kid to learn. I'll be here to help you learn from your mistake, but I'm not about to guide your hand the whole fucking time neither.
Mike said, I'll
job is
send
to
you
make
my
sure you got it.
2-year-olds and see if you're not begging for 18 to get here.
Look,
But Mike, cherish
I
them while you
promise
got them
this.
at that age. You know, yeah, twins.
Mike, I promise you, on everything that I love, if I could roll back the clock and give you a Naya at the age of 2, it'd be your twins wouldn't be a problem for you. That little girl at the age of 2, I ain't never wanted to square up with a kid in my life, but Anaya pushed my buttons, dog. She was mean for the sake of just being mean. And Eric, you saw it. You saw it firsthand how she acted. Anaya was mean for the sake of being mean.
If I do something, she will not let me forget about it. Ever. Like, anybody know how to fix drywall? Because she reminds me every day about something I did, and I need to fix a hole in the wall.
I think everybody has gotten the best of them when it comes to drywall a few times. I think everybody. I know my dad had punched a hole in a drywall once. I had a buddy who punched a hole in a drywall. Although for him, he was unfortunate enough that there was a stud behind it. He had to get screws put in.
Well, this morning, Jackson told me that he hit his head on the wall. And he goes, I found a hollow spot in the wall. I said, no, buddy, you got lucky. You didn't hit the stud, just like I did when I hit the wall. I said, so be careful next time.
Yeah.
The cat made him bounce his head off the wall.
Or I remember when my sister got frustrated at something. I remember she kicked the tire on one of her cars and broke her toe doing that. So I think she hit the rim on accident, not the tire. If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Yeah, that'll teach you real quick not to do that for sure. You have not met my 6-year-old twins, especially Elliston. That girl will out gangsta your inner gangsta.
Listen to me. Little girl, I promise you, I love my daughter to death. You understand me? Wow, you trash. You trash.
He uses that finder on himself. You know what I mean? Like,
you trash, Ty. I love my daughter to death. You understand me? Love Anaya with everything that I have. But like I told Miranda, if we would have had a girl for a first child, she would be an only child.
She's ready to fight
Aaron.
anybody. And I have to be careful with like what she hears and sees and shit, because she'll fight you. If she thinks that there's a threat, she's fighting you.
And there was a time where Anaya woke up and it was a problem every day. You dig what I'm saying? Like, she woke up looking for situations to turn into a problem.
Mike says they're redheads too. I'm screwed.
You do have that one up on us.
Nah, mine's half black, so it's a situation.
Who does not like? Yeah.
Who does not and will not admit to when she's wrong, because that's not happening. Like she'll fight you, even though she knows she's wrong. She's like, it is what it is. Like, I knew I was wrong 10 minutes ago. Now I just want to swing on you. Like, that's how Anaya operates. Like, I have watched her knuckle her brother up on some aggressive shit just because he either looked at her or said something she didn't agree with. Period. No other reason. I just wanted a reason to swing on you.
Jackson was messing with her today with Legos, and I'm like, "You're on your own, buddy." No, not.
You're not, bro. And my boys like. And you'll see, Aaron. You'll see. Melinda's gonna hit this. Not Melinda, damn.
Melinda.
Melina's gonna hit this.
Wow. Some problems, man.
Wow.
Hey, that's on me, big dog. That's on me.
Yeah,
that's on me, big dog. That's on me.
Words.
You'll see. She gonna hit a point. She gonna hit a point where you gonna be like, "Hey, if you don't sit your ass down, you don't get out of my face, bro."
Dude, she already has attitude.
Yeah, I can't wait till the Reese gets a little older. You're gonna find out, like, having a boy and you being a man, at a certain point you hit a real wall with them, like, yo, fam, I don't know who you talking to. Because like Jaden occasionally come out. Yeah, Jaden occasionally come out on some old, oh, you an old man type shit. And he'll bulk up on your boy. He'll walk up on me, start grabbing up on me and shit. I'm old, bro. You can't be grabbing me like that.
You hear me talk about your lingo?
So I gotta fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? But I know it's a time where that kid is a monster. It'll be a time I ain't gonna be able to defend myself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to bust his ass, bro.
Better do what you can.
We need to build your.
I know, right? I gotta get my licks in now, champ.
Better do it now. All right. Well, we skipped it last week because what's these? Oh, Mike said something else. When Elliston gets old enough to date, I won't be telling boys to take care of her. I'll be telling them, "Good luck, sucker." That's what you'll be saying to Anaya.
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna look at nobody hey, you got it, boss. You got it.
You got this.
Because it's not her brothers you need to worry about. It's her. I'm gonna tell you right now. She ain't gonna call him.
She's your problem.
I got 2 other brothers that'll fold you. Yeah, that's a you situation, champ.
Champ. Good luck. Well, as I started to say, last week we were going to get into some of this, but we went a little long. So I thought we would kind of cover it this weekend just to see what you guys thought about it. So let's get into some NFL news.
Oh, yeah.
So I know a couple of these are a couple weeks old, but I thought we'd at least discuss them a little bit here. Miranda B probably happy to know that her head coach, Mike Tomlin for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has signed an extension of 3 years with the Steelers, and he will be there for at least another 3 years. I'm not sure exactly if that takes place at the end of this year or what, but yeah, sounds like he's not going anywhere. Good. So I was like, he's been there for what, almost 20 some years? Is that how long it's been now or something?
I don't know because I remember Power for so long and then him for so long. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's been a long time.
I did hear that Russell Wilson come out and said that he feels better on this team than he has on any or something to that effect, or he's happier now than he's been in a while or something. I don't know. But so that's a good sign to at least see from your starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Things as long as Justin Fields stays on the bench. But yeah, I mean, I would be optimistic if I was a Steelers fan this year. No doubt about that. We also got, even though I really don't care to talk about him too much, Tom Brady, I guess he was inducted in the Patriots Hall of Fame, and I believe they retired number 12.
They retired his number.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know quite for sure, but yeah. So, and I saw part of his speech. The speech was actually very good. I'm not going to lie. I saw some of that. So yeah, if you're a Patriots fan, congrats to Tom Brady. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, records are meant to be broken," but I don't know of anybody who's going to catch Brady. I really don't. Even Mahomes.
Nope.
I don't see it.
Nope.
Mike
because
said
nobody's going to play as long as he did.
Yeah, exactly. That's a long time to go. Mike said, "I got a quick NFL opinion question before I go to bed." Yeah, shoot it in, brother. But yeah, so yeah, not a big fan of Tom Brady personally myself because he kicked the Colts' ass so many years. But maybe I'm a little bitter. But that is part of it.
No, hold on. It's not just the Colts. Like, look, give credit where credit is due. Not every game was marred by some weird ass stipulation or some weird ass circumstance. A lot of those games, they just were better. Period. Flat out. Let's not pretend like they didn't have a team that played very fucking well, because they did for a while. It just got to a point to where it was so much that people just got bitter about the shit. So it is what it is. Like, I'll give credit where credit is due. The man did his job and he was good at it. For as long as he did do it, there's a lot of records that a lot of people aren't going to touch simply because he played, and there won't be anybody who plays as long as he did, period.
With the longevity, and he rarely got hurt. There was one year I know he missed a whole year, but other than that, he played almost every single season, even with injuries or whatnot, but you really didn't hear about him either. They kind of kept him under wraps for the most part. So yeah, that's very difficult to do. So yeah, Mike had
congratulations to him.
Yeah, good, yeah, and I'm just glad he's not in the league anymore.
Like everybody else, but he got that winning mentality. He wanted to win. He wanted to be the best, and then he had to cheat and throw that in there to make sure that he could. Why do that to taint your record? I know a lot of people would probably disagree with that, but I agree with you. I think there were some things that was kind of shady with the New England Patriots. Maybe not always just Tom Brady, but yeah, there was a lot of things that was like, how many times, did he get, Super Bowls because of, the tuck rule, or, Adam Vinatieri made kicks, or his defense bailed him out. I mean, it is a team sport. That's the way it goes. But yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I really hope.
Yeah, good.
Go ahead and finish this, because this is not the rest.
Sorry, I was just going to say that it's kind of ironic that we got Brady out of the league, and now somebody like Pat Mahomes is dominating everything. It's like, and now I don't really care for the Chiefs as much.
Yeah, but the difference is at this point, though, Patrick Mahomes hasn't had to do anything underhanded. Like nothing has been questioned about his ability because you literally saw him play last year with wide receivers that was ass. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Last year, his wide receivers was trash. Period.
I agree with you. Yeah, yeah.
But he still found a way to work with what he had and made it work. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they won a Super Bowl. So
after playing like crap
in that
most of the
aspect,
season. Yeah.
Yeah, you can hate Patrick Mahomes, but at the same time, give credit where credit is due. He made do with the team he had, and they still won a fucking Super Bowl. So,
what was you gonna say about the refs, Miranda?
I just hope they get their shit together this year, and the NFL like stops their bullshit. You know, make sure we have legitimate refs.
Yeah, I agree with Ty. It
Ty,
can
you
be.
only say that shit because y'all lost that game.
Back to Mike's question. He said, do you think the NFL should do a draft lottery like the NBA to, in some ways, avoid having teams tank for the top draft spot? I don't know how.
Just fine him.
No.
Just fine him. Because there's no owner that's going to just do that. That's not going to happen. So what you need to do is you find the teams that do that. The fact that you openly admitted to tanking just to get a better spot in the draft, you should be fine that draft spot, period.
Who did that? I can't remember.
Who was it? Was it Chicago or was it Washington? I can't remember which one it was that said they were going to tank just to get the best spot in the draft.
I guess there's no rule against it, but it just seems kind of dirty.
But if you're gonna do it, just do it that way.
Colts didn't do that. I don't think. If they did, it was
all
years
right,
ago.
bro. You trash for that.
Stop it, man. I don't think, as far as I know. Well, the suck for luck thing, everybody was saying it, but they were going out. They were still winning games. It wasn't like they were losing every game.
Tank, bro.
Well, yeah, suck for luck. But yeah,
it was probably the fucking Eagles.
Well, I should say they were winning games. They were putting effort in. I don't know if they were winning games that year, to be honest, but yeah, I mean, yeah, but I kind of agree with Mike though that maybe there needs to be some sort of consequence for that for sure. Which is why in our fantasy football league, if you finish last, you got to pay for the entry fee of the champion the following year. We try to do something to kind of deter that sort of situation. So they definitely need to do that more in the NFL for sure. But yeah, just because it was in the script, I don't know. I start if the Chiefs win a third Super Bowl in a row because it's never happened before, I'm going to really start to go maybe. Yeah.
Hey, it's not the Chiefs; it's the Swifties.
The Kansas City Swifties. Yeah, I hear you. Yes.
Kansas City Swifties. It is no longer the Chiefs.
They're gonna change their name.
Exactly.
Question though.
Okay.
So when they retire a number, are they retiring it just for that team or for the whole NFL?
Oh,
just that team.
Otherwise, there wouldn't be any numbers left.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they'd have to be going into the quadruple digits to.
Every team's got certain numbers, like 18 in Indianapolis is retired because of Peyton, obviously, but it's not usually. You got to be like top tier of the top tier to get that honor.
Didn't JJ get his number retired too?
JJ
Watt.
Because
I know he got inducted to Houston's Hall of Fame, right?
I would say so because in Houston's short history, I would say that he'd probably be one of their best players for certain.
Fuck yeah,
I would think so. Yeah.
Is it always the quarterback?
No, it could be any player. It could be anything. But yeah, quarterbacks get the most notoriety because they're the most known and popular and all that sort of thing. But
yeah.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, I thought we would talk a little bit about the aforementioned Indianapolis Colts.
Out of all the graphics, fam, that's my favorite.
I've actually got another one for the Colts, but we'll save that for another time. What about him?
What about him, man?
I'm just glad to live in a state now that actually has an NFL team.
We've had one all your life, pretty much.
But he ain't been here all his life.
Yeah, I'm a transplant. I've only been here for 7 years.
You're right. You're right. Utah doesn't really have that. I mean, I guess you could root for the Seahawks or something like that out that way, but
the only major.
No, he chose Baltimore.
Is Real Salt Lake.
Oh, okay.
Which is a soccer team, and I don't really follow soccer. I mean, it's cool, but it's like whatever for me. So
I hear you.
You got the Utah Jazz.
Good night.
Yeah, There was the Jazz.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're getting a hockey team. So
There you go.
I thought they always had one, but I was proven wrong by Seth, who watches hockey, and I'm not going to argue with someone who religiously watches hockey, because I thought it was the Utah Grizzlies, but I guess that's not like a major league team. That's a amateur league in Utah, I guess, or something. And I was like, oh, okay, well, shows what I know.
Much for that, brother. But Anthony Richardson of the Indianapolis Colts, he now, as far as I know, it was minor. It wasn't a big deal. But a couple weeks ago, he had to leave practice due to a sore shoulder coming off the surgery he had for his AC joint. Now, the reason why I want to get into this, he also said, I guess this last week or so, that he said, quote, playing in the NFL, I feel like is easier than in college. Kind of hard to say that when you've only played like, 3.5 games. But I guess we'll wait and see on that one. But I just thought I'd put the question out there. I know Brandon's a big Colts fan for sure. What's your concern level? Because this is obviously the history of Anthony Richardson's list of injuries since high school. This is before he got to the NFL. This does not include last year where he had the bruised knee, the concussion, and the AC joint. But he's also had a knee issue, a couple shoulder injuries, the same shoulder with the AC sprain and clavicle fracture here. Had 2 hamstring injuries, a concussion, some more knee injuries with 2 knee surgeries, ankle, hamstring, and a left shoulder this time back in high school and college. So this is a history with him. And this is one of the reasons. Early 20s. I don't know the exact age, but
I could be asking.
But this also, hold on. This also stems from his style of play. He's a very mobile quarterback. He's a very physical quarterback. I understand. I get all that. I still, from what we got to see him play in those games, the man is electrifying. He made plays that were dead plays, but he turned them into plays. Lamar learned the hard way the same way. Like he still runs the ball. Don't get me wrong. Lamar is still a threat every time he drops back, but he's also learned to throw the ball. We know for a fact that Anthony can throw the damn ball because we've seen him do that on occasions too. I just think now, given that we've shored up some areas that were a problem, that won't be a problem, where that shouldn't be a problem this year. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yo, it's one of these situations of, do I want this guy? Do I feel like we got buyer's remorse? No, because the same can be said for me as a wrestling fan. If you could pull up a wrestler's injury list, see how long they were gone, how many times they was hurt, you get the same results, but it'd be far worse. But yet you still tune in to watch them motherfuckers. So I'm gonna tune in to see him. That's it. Name me one quarterback that's played literally his whole career, no injuries.
Oh, guaranteed. I mean, Brady's probably the closest, but even like I said, that 1 year, he was done for the year too. Week 1, he took that shot to the knee and was done.
Currently, one of the most secure quarterbacks in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, he got hurt numerous times.
And he had to play through it to win the Super Bowl this year or last year or whatever. So yeah, I mean,
Joe Burrow. So like, no, it is what it is.
The encouraging thing about this list to me is now. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying, I get it. I get what you're saying, and I get why there is a concern. But you can't pull up one person that was drafted, and hell, what's his name? Not Michael Penix. Who was the first quarterback to go this year? I can't remember. Was it Drake May?
I don't think so.
It wasn't Drake.
He went to Chicago.
He went to Chicago.
Caleb Williams.
Pull up this. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be injuries regardless. Right. Just go like you're injury prone. First of all, football is a physical ass fucking sport. No matter what position you play, nobody's safe on the field. Hell, kickers has gotten hurt. I'm not concerned. I'm really not. I am more intrigued to see what he's going to do this year because he didn't really get to show off what he had in store. When what you got to see, the man was electrifying to watch.
Yeah, when he was on the field, absolutely he was. So he may not be too far off when it comes to talking about how the league is easier than college. he was definitely showing it when he was on the field. He was tearing him up,
bro,
early on. I mean, CJ Stroud eventually come along, but early on he struggled. If Anthony Richardson could only get better than what we saw on the field, that's outstanding. So I don't know. I mean, the encouraging thing about this list here now, I don't know exactly if how much he actually was like the number 2 quarterback in like Florida and things like that. But the games missed, he only missed 9 games through all this. Now, the most games he missed was this last year with Indianapolis. In that regard, I'm a little encouraged. It seems like he plays through a lot of it. Especially on this one here, when he tore his meniscus off the bone, he only missed 1 game, according to this list. I assume this is 100% accurate. I mean, it's just something. It is concerning a little bit. At the same time, we've only seen a little bit of him in the NFL. Let's let him see if he can prove himself. We'll see what this year holds, and let's hope for the best. That's all I can say.
I like some of those. Some of the notes that they had in there. One of them was he heard it while dancing.
Well, there was the one concussion he did get. He kind of slowed down before he crossed the end zone, and a guy came up from behind and decked him kind of hard. He fell down and smacked his head off the turf. That one he needs to learn to run through the end zone, because in the NFL they're going to come at you if you're not quite there yet. So you got to run all the way through that before you even think about slowing down. So that stuff he needs to learn. He needs to learn to slide a little more, which he started to do a little bit before he got the shoulder injury. So I'm hoping that he is starting to get there, but he does have to learn to protect himself, and that's something Andrew Luck had to learn how to do too. And hopefully the offensive line can hold up and all that good jazz. But I'm hoping.
The ankle on there said. The ankle on there said no details, and it's like, means something. He did something embarrassing he doesn't want shown.
Slipped on the curb coming out of the bar one night. I don't know. Yeah.
I got to see the interview he did with Pat McAfee
at the Walmart,
and
Lucky has decided to sit on my lap.
Oh God, it really kind of made me a fan of his. Listening to him talk, listening to the love he has for football, and the fact that he just drowns out all the negative noise. You know what I'm saying? He just keeps it pushing. He goes out and does his thing, and he's big fucking dude.
Yeah.
Like he comes walking in, and I go, "No shot, he is a big fucking guy." So I'm excited for this year.
Me too. And if he can stay healthy, the sky's the limit for Indianapolis, especially with that talented roster. In my opinion, they have. We'll have to wait and see what they do together. One last little Indianapolis Colts thing I thought we'd talk about here. A couple of weeks back, they announced that Dallas Clark will be inducted in the Colts Ring of Honor. I don't think his jersey number is being retired or anything like that, but definitely one of the great tight ends in the league. I remember when our friend Troy West took him in fantasy football at the number 4 overall pick and went to the playoffs that year. We all thought he was crazy taking a tight end that early on, but ended up paying off for him. The years he had with the Peyton Manning and those the Super Bowl run and everything like that, well deserved for Dallas Clark. Hopefully, I don't know exactly what game it'll be on, but I think it's in October if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, in that regard, yeah, it should be a great ceremony. So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts?
Yep.
Yeah, I heard it too. A little staticky.
Yeah, I don't know where that's from.
It's Brandon's. Yeah, it's Brandon's. I don't know why, but it is. So
it's fucking weird.
Anyway.
Oh, well, hold on.
So
I
yeah.
don't know why. Hold on.
Okay. Messing with your stuff. We're live, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it sounds better now.
I think that's funny.
Right, cool. So yeah, glad to see that. All right, well, we got one more section I thought we'd get into tonight a little bit. I know we saved it to end this week. There's those people who don't care for it, but let's get into a little bit of news and politics.
Here we go.
So yeah, this is a little thing I saw online. I had my own little things to this. I thought it would be interesting to have a conversation about the actual party lines in our government right now. Not so much, we're like, well, there's a middle and there's a left and a right. But this is the way it kind of actually is, in my opinion. And I don't think I'm very far off. The actual middle is kind of where far right's kind of getting into right now. And the left has gone so far left that they're the ones with more radical ideas, in my opinion, and even the ones who are considered your father's Republicans or grandfather's Republicans, as Joe Biden likes to put it. is more on the left than they are on the right nowadays, which is why we got a bunch of rhinos and most of the Republicans, side with Democrats and things like that. And that's why Joe Biden likes it. But the thing about this is, even though the left and the right-ish left all have more radical ideas, they are represented by a majority of our Senate and Congress and all this stuff in government. But the ideas and their ideologies is more a minority when it comes to the country. While as the right, as it is with Donald Trump and MAGA and American First, is more of a small minority of representatives in the government, but the ideas that they present are more majority when it comes to the actual people in the United States and the voters. So this is kind of a comparison of both sides of the coin here. And I know some people may not agree with this assessment, but I think this is kind of the way it's more visually accurate when it comes to the way things are on political lines right now. The far right is actually, believe it or not, they say it's the far right. They're the extremists, but they're the more in the moderate, in the middle, in my opinion, with some of their ideologies. It's more stuff that we've had, for, hundreds of years, so to speak. I mean, stuff like, not having abortion until at the point of birth or after. It's more of, we should be, have limits, or they should be up to the states, which is what Donald Trump has said. He's also said he does not support a national ban. The left supports wide open borders. We support, border control and vetting it properly. Everyone is legal to the left, and the radicals on the left, and illegal should be deported if you're not here legally. If you're on the right, men and women's sports on the left. That's a very radical thing. When the sports have been separated by sex and DNA for as far as I can remember. No voter ID, which makes things easier to steal in the elections, which is why you would not even have voter ID to begin with. By not having voter ID, the only reason not to do that is so you can cheat easier. Although the right, they say paper ballots and voter ID with election integrity. LGBTQ normalization, including porn in schools, is what the far left and those on the left support. And those on the right, it's only about two sexes and genders, men and women, and there's no indoctrination of children. DEI initiatives, which over on the left, on the right is more about merit-based. The left supports higher taxes. The right supports lower taxes and higher wages. More government regulation on the left and less government regulation on the right. No more gasoline and electric vehicles only. No choice in the matter on the left. And drill baby drill with the EVs optional, so you can still have them on the right. Ukraine funding and supporting other countries with all of our tax dollars, while the right says foreign countries should actually use one of Joe Biden's favorite lines, pay their fair share. Inflation is through the roof with people on the left, and they're the ones who created it, regardless of what they say. They did do that. And on the right, it's about lowering your cost of groceries and gasoline. On the left, they believe men can have babies, which is actually anti-science, completely anti-science. But the right believes and only women can have babies, which is science-based and biological. The left are for censorship for ideas they don't agree with on social medias. They're anti-First Amendment and Second Amendment, while the right is pro-First Amendment, Second Amendment, pro-Constitution. The left is based on their policies and what they believe. They're actually anti-God, anti-religion, unless it's like pride stuff or whatever. A lot of people view that as a religion. That's okay in schools, but the 10 Commandments are not. So that's not fair, I believe. They also believe in weaponization of the DOJ, while the right is more about justice under the law. Some people would disagree with that, but that's the way I view it with everything that's going on right now. Forced vaccinations for those on the left, while on the right, it again, voluntary. The left believes in communism and socialism, while the right is about capitalism and freedom. While the left is also weak on crime and they want to defund the police, the right is tough on crime, giving consequences to criminals, not letting them out the following day, and they're very pro-cop. So I don't know about you guys. This is how I view it. And I believe this is about as accurate as you could depict it, in my opinion. There's going to be people on the left who say, well, that's not what the left stands for. No, that's what they make you believe. They try to twist words and try to say, abortion is about women's rights, or wide open borders is about accepting everybody and not being racist. It's about that, helping those who seek an asylum. But again, they're spinning things that's not exactly the way it always goes. But they love to tout that fact and say all this sort of thing. So what do you guys think about this? Sound accurate to you? This is a pretty good depiction, a good diagram. What do you think?
I think you're right. I mean, yeah, I am so sick of the extreme.
And that's what the left is. It is extreme. Bill Maher, who loves to talk about how he's a Democrat still, he's always in the middle. He's even said that the left has gone so far left, he hasn't moved. It's the left that's gone so far left, and he's not wrong about that. That's one thing I agree with him on. And the right has gone right along with them. And those on the far right, like Trump, the America First, that's what most people in this country, I believe, want. And this is a good depiction of that. And those people who are in each of these different categories here are listed underneath as well. And the left loves to say that we got to save our democracy. But it's actually a constitutional republic. It is not a democracy. Nowhere in the Constitution do they even really talk about democracy. So the left is considered normal nowadays based by the mainstream media and things like that. But and at the end of the day, the right is considered radical, and they're the ones who have the more normal ideas, in my opinion. So just thought I'd throw this out there, let you guys see it, and let you guys form your own opinions on it. But this here is the way I view it, and I think it is the proper depiction of the way it is. So take it for what you will.
They probably took, saying the Pledge of Allegiance in schools to basically confuse kids into what type of government we had, because it's in the Pledge of Allegiance what government we have.
Yeah, the republic for which it stands.
To the republic for which it stands.
One nation under God, which they also didn't like.
Yeah.
I think it was Louisiana this week put the 10 Commandments back into schools. Good for them.
That's kind of another annoying thing, is that the flag, the Pledge of Allegiance, and a lot of things that the America stood for was all about unity. It was all about uniting the country against a common enemy, and all those things that we said and did at younger ages and stuff to just have some pride in America and come together. They're taking that stuff away because they don't want unity. They want division. That's exactly why that the left harps on race, and gender, and all that stuff. They harp on that stuff because they don't want to unify people. They want to drive a wedge between them all. And they might argue it's like, oh, but you traditional people are driving the wedge between people, and it's like, I mean, that may be the case in some small cases, but we were for unity.
Yeah,
we haven't changed. Yep. The stuff on the right is what people on the right and conservatives have been about for as long as I can remember. I mean, they have not moved. And you want to talk about unity nowadays, with Joe Biden saying all these things in his speeches and stuff, he's, like you said, actually driving division. If you look at these two lists, there is no coming together with this. They're so far apart. There's no middle ground here. I mean, that's why I've always said I don't know how we get to a point where we actually do come together as a country. I hope it does happen. But at this point, it's just so far radicalized, in my opinion, more to the left than to the right. The right is just more, they're considered far right because they're so far away from the far left. I don't know. I just thought I'd share this with you guys. I thought it was something that was worth checking out, because this is what you're voting for when you go to the voting booth. Whether you believe this list the way it's worded or not, they like I said, the left love to twist words and say, these are all good things, but this is actually what's going on. If you really look into it deeper, they say it's not, but it is. So take it for what you will.
It definitely is.
After this, we had a big news story that was going around this week. Was involving cheap fakes. So we're going to watch a little video here. He'll explain it a little bit better than me. This is Andrew from Don't Walk Run Productions, which we've had here on the channel a few times. He's going to break this down a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit about it afterwards as well. But and we may pause a little bit here and there. But this is what happened this week.
This is Joe Biden, the President of the United States. Within a 9-day period, several videos had emerged featuring Joe Biden looking, well, first, while in Normandy for a D-Day event, Biden seemed to have an issue with sitting down in a chair.
The Honorable Lloyd J. Austin III, Secretary of Defense of the United States of America.
Now, there are two things going on here. First of all, for most people, it shouldn't take this long to figure out how to sit in a chair. It just looks incredibly awkward. Second, if you look at alternative footage of the event, you can see that everyone is supposed to stay standing, including the audience, until after the next speaker was announced. But Biden started ahead of everyone.
Secretary of Defense of the United States of America.
And again, it didn't help that he was waffling and bending over so slowly. This is why poll after poll find that Americans think that Joe Biden is too old to serve a second term. Next.
Now, before we get into the next thing, I wanted to stop here and just point this out. I actually did a video on the channel earlier this week about the cheap fake stuff. Now, I took it down. There's a reason I took it down, because in that video, I stated I was actually going to kind of line up in the middle on this, because I saw, which we're going to play here in a little bit, a video where it kind of looked like, you know, the right was, the people on the left were saying the people on the right were using cheap fakes to make Joe Biden look bad. Now, the right is not usually known for that, okay? But the video we just saw of Joe Biden sitting down, there are people on the right who are saying, oh, he's pooping himself. He's not trying to sit down. He's squatting down. He's trying to poop himself, crap his pants. Well, and the reason why they say that is because, I mean, there's obviously a video of Joe Biden actually admitting to the stuff like that, maybe.
What must be what? What must be what?
He literally, it sounds like he says the words, my butt's been wiped. So, yeah, it's interesting. Not only that, in that video where he sits down at that, what was it? Was it a D-Day thing, I think is what it was in France? He ended up leaving shortly after that and did not return when he was supposed to be greeting troops. So that led a lot of people to speculate that he crapped his drawer. Okay. So again, the right is not editing the footage. They're speculating. I mean, is it kind of dirty? Yeah, it's politics, but I don't honestly believe he actually pooped his pants. I think it's an old man trying to sit down in a chair. That's what it probably is. So that was one of the reasons I took it down. The other reason we'll get into in here just a little bit, but here's some more stuff that the left claim are being fake about Joe Biden.
Next, there was this video from the White House Juneteenth celebration where Joe Biden looks like he's freezing up. Then, 3 days later in Italy, Joe Biden was watching a skydiving presentation along with several leaders from the G7. But then suddenly, Joe Biden starts wandering away from the rest of the group towards one of the skydivers, which led the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, to grab Biden's arm and lead him back to the group.
Okay, now the other reason I took the video down is because I addressed this particular video in that video. He walks over and is talking to some of the other skydivers who are off to the side there. The left is trying to say that the right and conservatives and the Trump campaign are trying to crop this video off here where it does not show the skydiver off to the side. The video I saw originally, I didn't watch the whole thing in its entirety, and it kind of stopped where he was kind of like halfway shuffling over there, and I didn't see the guy on the right here kneel down, okay? So I thought, okay, to be in all fairness, to me it appeared like I didn't think the right was, editing or copying the video, but they neglected to mention some of the context. So in that regard, I was trying to be fair in that video, right? Well, clearly, this is the unedited video. The right was not doing that at all. That's one of the reasons I took the video down. And he's going to explain some more about that. Either way, he still wandered away. Either way.
I'm sorry, but a G7 leader needing to run after Joe Biden like he's a toddler, this is not normal. Then, days later, at the end of a glitzy fundraiser in LA, Joe Biden, along with Barack Obama, are waving to the audience. But then, inexplicably, Biden stops moving, and Obama grabs his arm to start leading him off the stage. Now, to have this many incidents occur in such a short amount of time is concerning. But instead of taking an objective look and thinking, maybe there's something to this, the left-wing media is more interested in running cover for the White House.
Yeah.
There seems to be a sort of rash of videos that have been edited to make the president appear especially frail or mentally confused. I'm wondering...
Stop. Notice how Associated Press reporter Will Weissert framed the question. It's not that Biden appears out of it. No, it's that the videos have been edited to make him appear out of it. But for the record, each video clip that I showed you has not been edited to make Biden look frail or mentally confused. He's doing that on his own.
I'm wondering if the White House is especially worried about the fact that this appears to be a pattern that we're seeing more often.
Yeah, and I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith.
Oh, I see. It's not that Biden is looking frail and confused. It's bad actors manipulating video footage to make him look frail and confused. Got it. Again, for the record, YouTube, every clip I featured is raw footage from each event. It is not misinformation, it is not manipulated, and it is not fake. But according to Cringe, it is. Here she is specifically referring to the incident in Italy.
I mean, look, that was, as I said, it was a cheap, a cheap fake. That was definitely a cheap fake. It was. This was widely fact-checked. That video was widely fact-checked.
Okay.
So let's take a look at one of these facts
It honestly,
and see what exactly they're claiming. Here's a segment from CBS News with Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cortez.
Cheap fake clips went viral on social media and were picked up by some news outlets. Take a look at this clip, for example. It shows Biden and other world leaders watching a skydiving demonstration before the president is seen walking away and looking in another direction.
Okay, pause.
And that's kind of where I
Clarity,
stopped watching it
CBS
right there.
News is claiming that this clip is digitally altered. So let's compare the actual raw footage with the so-called cheap fake.
It shows Biden and other world leaders watching a skydiving demonstration before the president is seen walking away and looking in another direction.
Did you see the difference between the two clips? Of course he didn't, because it's the same exact footage.
Outlets claimed that he was sort of just aimlessly wandering away. The clip amassed millions of views within just a few hours.
Oh my God, this is so stupid. He was wandering away. That's the whole point. But instead, CBS News is arguing, oh, well, he had a reason for wandering off.
If you widen out, you can see that he was talking to one of the members of the military that was participating in that demonstration.
But you don't need to widen out because this so-called digitally altered video already shows Biden talking and giving a thumbs up to someone. And you see this label? That means it was fact-checked by CBS News Confirmed, which is a special unit at CBS dedicated to combating misinformation. So you know it's legit. But great job, CBS News. You're doing God's work.
This was widely fact-checked. That video was widely fact-checked, including by conservatives media, on what happened, what occurred. And to their credit, we have a conservative Washington Examiner did call them out as well, calling out the New York Post.
So
are these the same same people who said the Russian were involved in Hunter Biden's laptop, by the way, the same fact checkers? Just want to point that out.
Green is referring to the New York Post's coverage of Biden wandering off, labeling him as meanderer in chief. Good one. That the Washington Examiner called out the Post is a lie. The Washington Examiner article she is referring to is not remotely a fact check, but it does quote UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. He went to go to talk to the pilot, one of the parachute jumpers, Sunak said. He went to go shake all their hands. The British leader then explained that Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni ushered Biden back because all of the skydivers were set to come over to greet the leaders. Now, that is not a debunking, and it is not a fact check. It's simply quoting what a world leader said was going on at the event from his perspective. It's called reporting. And anyway, that additional detail doesn't debunk anything. In fact, it makes it worse. Think about it. Joe Biden was Roombaing over to the skydivers to shake their hands, despite the fact
did he say Roomba?
in advance that all the skydivers would come greet all the leaders in the group a few minutes later. But the White House and the media are acting like Joe Biden has never, ever wandered off before, and that the Republicans are creating these moments out of whole cloth.
Important international issue.
There's a lot of important international issues, but we're here to talk about America. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President.
And again, regardless of camera angles or who posted it or whatever, The main takeaway from the G7 incident is that Joe Biden wandered away from the rest of the group, and the Prime Minister of Italy had to go after him and grab his attention. That alone should be concerning. But CBS decided not to question it, and instead do the bidding of the DNC and the White House by repeating their talking points.
Anybody can take an image and manipulate it to make it look like it suggests something that didn't happen. Cheap fakes, cheap fakes, cheap fake videos, cheap fake clips they're called cheap fakes for a reason.
Eyes.
And as we saw on Saturday, President Obama's office put out a statement. So I would refer you to that statement about what was being accused in those by others. And he said this did not happen in the sense of what people were saying they were seeing, right? Or what was being falsely reported that they were seeing.
Just as a reminder, Karine Jean-Pierre is a professional communicator who makes $180,000 a year, paid for by your tax dollars. Congrats, America.
Let's not forget, President Obama, President Biden have a relationship. They are friends. They're like family to each other. And I think that's what you saw. You saw the president put his hand on the back of President Biden.
Notice that she's not addressing Obama grabbing Joe's arm after he was standing frozen for 8 seconds, but that's okay, because Karine is going to tell you what you saw.
And they walked off the stage after taking questions or at an event taking questions from Jimmy Kimmel. That is what you saw.
In other words, Big Sister Karine is telling you what you saw. So please reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. Absolutely Orwellian.
That is what you saw.
Finally, Karine Jean-Pierre addressed Joe Biden looking incredibly awkward at his own White House event. And honestly, it started out being the most acceptable answer she's ever given from the podium.
Okay, let's talk about Juneteenth. The president stood there listening to the music and he didn't dance. Excuse me, I did not know not dancing was a health issue.
And that would be fair, I guess. I mean, we all know that Joe Biden is the most awkward president in United States history.
Come on, clap your hands, all these people. To God with a voice of triumph. Take me up. Come on, the power of the Lord is here.
Real quick, hold on. Pause that. It looks like my man has never seen that many black people in one room at one time, and he's fascinated by that shit.
But according to him, he grew up in the black churches.
Bro, he was. Listen to me. My man was enamored by that shit.
He sure as hell looks like he never been in one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a wild video.
Standing up, listening to music and not dancing, that is not a health issue.
Okay, whatever. Again, I think that it's a perfectly acceptable response. And she could have just left it there, but she couldn't, because Karine Jean-Pierre is the worst White House press secretary in history.
If you look at the people who are around him, you look at the expanded video of the people who are around him, they were not. There were some folks who were not dancing either, and that has been fact checked.
Yeah, Karine can't show you that fact check because it doesn't exist. So let's do Karine a favor, fact check it right now. Oh, look, the expanded video shows that everyone is dancing, with the exception of Joe Biden and the Secret Service agent on the far right of the screen.
It's Juneteenth, y'all.
Anyway, the public at large ain't buying this whole cheap fakes narrative from the Democrats and the media. The only way to prevent these clips from existing is for Joe Biden to act like a normal human being.
What was that?
He was getting some like questions from the media who were like shouting. I mean, he just goes. Blah, 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 blah. You ever seen that clip of Steve Carell and
Yes.
Bruce
Yes.
Almighty?
So like, okay, in that incident, I get it. There's everybody's throwing questions at him. In the sense of if you were like, yo, I get that you all have questions for me, but this is what it sounds like when you all yell at once. And then he did that. But for him to just make eye contact with somebody and just go, that shit took me, bro.
So when I originally did the video on the cheap fakes thing on the channel, this is the video I saw from MSNBC, and I'm gonna get into why I want to go over this again.
There's a growing and insidious trend in right-wing media, broadcast, print, and social media. It is to take highly misleading and selectively edited videos of President Biden directly from Republican National Committee social media accounts, and then use those videos to spread messages virally to cast doubt on President Biden's fitness for office. Here is this headline from the New York Post, quote, Biden appears to freeze up, has to be led off stage by Obama at Megabucks LA fundraiser.
Which actually appeared to be the case, so this isn't a lie. So
the full video posted by Biden finance chair on Twitter shows something entirely different. Biden reacting to applause and then walking off stage with former President Obama. It comes less than 1 week after the New York Post made a cover out of another piece of deceptively edited tape, calling him meanderer in chief due to what they claim was Biden walking away during a skydiving demonstration during the G7 summit last week. The only problem is that the full video, which emerged almost instantly, shows Biden was going over to congratulate one of the skydivers who's cropped out of the video entirely.
So I saw that video and thought, okay, the left at least omitted some of the or the right, I should say. The right omitted some of the context and didn't show him going over for the other skydivers. But we clearly just saw the original video did show that. It was never about that. It was about, I don't know. It just this is so stupid. But the other thing I wanted to talk about with this video is they keep talking like, the right is the one doing this. The right is the one doing this. But in this own video, they're being dishonest with you right in this news report. Because if you look at the video side by side, I thought I had it here. But maybe I don't. Anyway, hold on. Let me. It's kind of relevant to the point. I'm gonna pause here. I'm gonna look this up because I gotta find it. There was a video of them side by side, and you can see which one was edited and which one was not. It's on my page here. I'm just gonna scroll down right quick. Pardon me. And yeah, here it is. Okay. So the one on the top is the footage that was going around at this fundraising event. Now, did you see what happened there? The video footage that MSNBC showed on the bottom is they cut away and they zoomed way out to where you can't see what's actually going on between Barack Obama and Joe Biden. But if you continue to play the video, you can see where right there, Barack reaches over to grab his arm. But on the bottom video that they showed on MSNBC, it's so far zoomed out, you can't see it. So who is actually editing videos and making it look like they're cheap fakes? It's not the right. This is the left who did it. This came directly from the Biden-Harris administration's own account. Because as you can see here, if you see how they even left the logo in. So who is the one misleading the American public? I mean, it's not the right.
They have been for years, and if this is what it takes to wake people up, fine. But they have been lying to you for fucking years.
Yeah, and I had a compilation, but I accidentally closed it. But there was a compilation of media out there talking about how Trump couldn't walk down a ramp. Oh, we need to be worried about how slow he walks down a ramp. He's in mental decline or he's physically in decline. But yet these are the same people who try to tell you, who tried to jump into the front seat of the beast and beat up Secret Service agents, which Secret Service completely debunked, by the way, on January 6th. So, and not only that, just this week, while all this was going on, we had a left-wing outlet called No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. No Lie. He actually lied here, which is ironic. He said, here's a photo of Donald Trump having to hold someone's hand to guide him off the stage, which is actually Donald Trump Jr. I'm sure this will get just as much coverage as the daily Biden is old story gets. Well, this is the photo that's completely taken out of context, makes it look like he needs help walking off a stage. Here's the actual video. Don't need the music, but what? And right there, He grabs Don's hand like for a split second. Let's watch it again. Bam. How long does he hold on to his hand?
Long enough for a photo.
But
Kinda
does it look like
he passed him something?
Well, it was just enough to be
Yeah, he
like
shook
acknowledged.
his
he's there.
hand. It's his son.
Yeah.
It's his son. Like it was
Let me
long
pass
enough
him
for a
some
photo
fun.
to be taken.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And
He's
they
like-
took that photo and ran with the narrative that he needs help off a stage, which clearly, watching this, he does not. I mean, if we can watch the rest of this all the way through, he's walking just fine.
Yeah. It's-
But no, trust the media.
Wow.
Trust the
That-
White House. Trust the news.
What that is jealousy and fear.
He was
Yeah.
walking and
Coming
clapping
from-
at the same time.
Yeah. But they want to say the
He
rights
can
in a
do two
panic.
things. I bet he can chew gum too.
I don't know about that one. I can't do it.
Oh, you remember?
Walk and chew gum at the same time.
You remember when they tried to say that Donald Trump couldn't drink water out of a water bottle?
Yeah.
And he did that too. It just proved everybody wrong with that one too. It's like, this is so ridiculous. And these are the stupidest things to be talking about. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, this is how they lie to you subtly. They take out everything and twist it. And if you're believing the news at this point, you're nuts. Open your damn eyes. Do a little bit of research. Look into this stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's frustrating as all hell. Yes. But so yeah. One last news item, and then we'll get out of here. I swear. This is a video that completely ousts and destroys Disney. James O'Keefe, who is known for going undercover and interviewing people in high-ranking positions of certain companies and outing them and finding out what's actually going on behind closed doors, has now done a video, or has one of his associates go out with some people who work at Disney. And they have now revealed that Disney has discriminatory hiring practices, and they will not hire you if you are particularly a white male, white people in general, which goes against everything that the left claims is, what they want, and that Disney says that they're not about, but it's actually racism. So here's the video that has been circulating around the internet here with this encounter.
Certainly, there have been times where, there's no way we're hiring a white male person.
Just kind of unspoken.
There are times when it's spoken, but
how would they say it?
There's no way we're hiring a white male person. They say
Like straight to you, or okay?
They'd be very careful how they message that to agents.
According to these videotapes, Disney blatantly discriminates against white men in particular.
I think I'm sort of well prepared for it. I'm well positioned for it. But as far as Disney's concerned, I'm a white male. That's not who they're looking to promote at the moment.
As a white guy, even Michael has his own doubts about the possibility for advancement for himself at Disney. In fact, Michael actually got to experience Disney's discrimination against white males firsthand.
I've been at the company 11 years now, so I have friends in HR and I have friends in those divisions, and they're like, look, nobody else is going to tell you this, Mike, but they're not considering any white males for the shop. They're just not. That's not who they want.
They even passed over a qualified half-black person for a promotion because they didn't look black enough.
We wanted to hire somebody in the department a few years ago now, who was half black, but didn't appear half black. And there was a creative executive who was like, "We're not that's not what's wrong." They wanted somebody in meetings who would appear a certain way, and he wasn't gonna bring that to the meeting. I mean, it kind of feels like we're, at some point there's going to be a lawsuit. That's kind of how it feels, just because of,
And that is a lawyer talking. So how does Disney explain pushing these discriminatory practices? They use code words and buzzwords.
I'm guessing that there's acceptable code words and buzzwords that are used to explain what they're looking for. They might say something like, look, we're not looking at the usual suspects for this job. So it's not a legally actionable thing. But everybody knows what it means. They, the writers and actors hear all the time, looking to hire writers and actors who bring diversity. I'm not looking to bring on any more clients who are
So yeah, I bring this up because it ties into our acolyte discussion we had or so last week about how that show is completely DEI centered, all different ethnicities or different people of color or women. Again, nothing wrong with that. Again, in general, but when you're doing it specifically to alienate one particular group, which would be white people or men in general, and you're doing it to promote another, this DEI stuff is out of control. And Disney in general, as Matt mentioned last week, is writing a fine line. And this is exactly what we're talking about here. If you say Disney's not doing it, you're ignorant, because they got some people just literally flat out admitting that's what happened.
Yep.
You ignorant?
Ignorant.
But
well, there goes my shot at working at Disney.
Yeah.
Brandon, you might get a job there.
I might. Yep. I bet you I get hired.
I don't know. I think Brandon's too white looking. You're not black enough.
I mean, if it suits the role,
he is voting for Trump, so he ain't black, I guess.
Yeah, you see, I told you, you ain't black.
I found it funny that as soon as I mentioned Matt made that point, Matt liked this video. I love that, Matt. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, if the role suits the actor or the actress or the person of color or the ethnicity or whatever it is, perfectly fine with that. Go for it. Knock yourself out. But when
it makes sense.
Make it make some sense. But people are wise to the act now. We're not falling for this. This is why Disney's losing money left and right. And as of last night, I canceled my Disney Plus subscription. That's not to say I'm not going to maybe go watch like a Disney movie like Deadpool. I'm obviously going to go watch that. I still love my comic book stuff. But I'm not going to sit here and needlessly give this company more money than I really probably should. I can get the stuff off Disney Plus by other means. I'll just say that. I mean, so they asked, why are you canceling the subscription? I literally wrote, stop putting political stuff in your content and I'll come back. And I left it at that. Whether that does it, it's not going to do anything, obviously. No one cares about
You should have said Trump 2024.
right. But at some point, Sam's got to break. At some point, these guys are going to keep losing money. People are going to stop going to their parks.
Yeah. Look at what Bud Light did to themselves. I don't know if they ever recovered or not. I didn't drink it before. I'm not going to check on it now. But, stop.
I'm a Coors Light guy myself.
I was a Bud Light guy.
Time out. Bro, Aaron, the only beer you drink is root beer. Okay? Let's get that out of the way.
Hey, dang
no
straight. Root beer's the shiznit.
Okay, I'm done talking to you.
But yeah.
I love getting Brandon to this point where he's just like, gosh dang, just leave me alone.
Yeah. It's
Why don't I
fun,
hang out with you?
Yeah, some of my finest moments right there. But yeah, if you guys didn't realize just by watching Disney content, there it is from the horse's mouth.
Yep.
Again, people want to say, Eric, you're acting crazy. Why do you talk about this stuff now? Why do you care? Because I see this stuff, and it's 100% true. But I'm the crazy one. Okay, sure.
We watch movies, we watch cartoons, we watch TV, we watch movies, cartoons, this, that, and the third. You read books, you play video games to escape from all the shit that you're subjected to seeing. The fact that now this shit just bleeds over into other sources of entertainment, it's too much, man. I don't need to be reminded of how fucked up things are every day, all day, no matter what the fuck I'm doing. Give me a moment to where I can escape to somewhere else where none of this shit matters. Just for a fucking moment. But now you can't enjoy things to get that escapism because those things are just slowly being taken away and overrun by shit that I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit enough about people's lives outside of the ones that I'm responsible for to give a fuck about what you got going on. I just don't. Because it's not on my radar because it doesn't pertain to my world. What you do outside of that is your fucking business. I just want my piece of the pie to be my fucking piece of the pie. Period.
Don't touch my pie.
That's it.
Touch my pie.
Keep your hands off my fucking plate, bro.
But I mean, obviously, anybody who's watched me for any period of time on this channel know that I have things like movies and TV and wrestling that I like, sports. and I don't like to talk politics that much. I know it seems like I talk about it a lot with, especially people I know say, "Well, you talk about it more than you used to." Well, this is fine because stuff I enjoy that I love to use to escape from my daily life of work or whatever stress I may have. I can't even enjoy that stuff now because it's all over the damn place. So yeah, I'm going to talk about it more.
But it seems like that's what they want. It's like they want to beat people down because look, a beaten dog will obey you for as long as it can until one day that motherfucker snaps and bites your ass back. But that's what's happening. Everybody's getting beaten into a fucking corner. Eventually, they're gonna snap back.
And I hope that snap back happens at the ballot box in November. So, well, on that note, I think we'll probably end the show. It's been a long show tonight. But yeah, I think it was a good show. What do you guys think? I hope it was fun for you guys. Yeah.
It was adequate.
Adequate. Hey, you at least complimented the new intro, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, that shit was dope, bro.
So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. We'll use that going forward. So, but thank you guys for watching. Please comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. And before we get into next week, we're going to have another podcast next week. I was going to ask you guys, by the way, you guys have any interest of kind of doing a live stream during the debate on Thursday, or just want to talk about it Friday night?
Oh, that might be fun.
Now we wouldn't be able to. We wouldn't be able to show it on screen, but
we could still watch it together. Yeah.
It's up to you guys. We could do it if you guys want to. We could do it Thursday night. It's up to you.
I'm down.
We'll talk about it afterwards or whatever. But yeah,
all right.
But if not, we'll definitely probably cover it on Friday. You could bet your bottom dollar on that one. So, but yeah, comment down below. Let us know what you guys think, and thank you guys for watching. And until next week's podcast, take care and God bless.